Hi, I'm Viola Ford Fletcher, 109 years old, and the oldest member of the Tulsa Massacre.
You're also the oldest author in the world.
And also the oldest author in the world.
She's the author of Please Don't Let Them Bury My Story, and I'm the co-author, Ike Howard, her grandson. And we're thrilled to be here today celebrating this moment in history with such great realtors.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mother Fletcher. Thank you, Ike Howard, Mother Fletcher's grandson. It is a true honor and privilege for us to have you both here, as Mother Fletcher is literally living history, living Black history. And it's just saying that it's an honor and privilege does not do it justice. So, Ike, would Mother Fletcher want to share a few words just about what her experience was as a survivor of the Tulsa Massacre?
She might. Mother Fletcher, where did you see that terrible night in 1921?
We were afraid that night. We saw people being killed and houses being burned and, buildings being destroyed, cars and told to leave town that all we'd kill if we didn't. So we just, excited and doing whatever we thought was safe.
Wow, that's incredible. And Ike, what do you remember hearing stories about that from your grandmother as a child? When did you first become aware of just who she was and what the important role in history that your family was a part of?
It was I'd live with my grandmother every summer. She would come pick me up. Every weekend she would come pick me up. I graduated from my household my junior and senior year. Played football, ran track. And I would notice she wouldn't sleep in the bed. I noticed she would have nightmares. I began to question her about all these things. And she would, confide in me, but she also made me not talk about it. She said, I'm going to tell you what's going on, but you can't discuss it. And I couldn't figure out why, but they actually had concentration camps. And they told people, if you talk about this, we're going to kill you and your entire family. So in her mind, she thought that she was protecting, generations to come after her, because she believed that they could do such a heinous crime that they could do it again, because they controlled the city council, the Chamber of Commerce, the Sheriff Department, the National Guard. It was a wide-ranging conspiracy of things that happened on that particular day. So the worst type of slavery is mental slavery. If you believe that these people got away with this for so many years and so many people don't know about it, they believe that, okay, they can do what they said they're going to do. And it's best for me to keep my mouth shut. So I think there's a few people on the panel that have military experience. I, too, served 20 years in the military, Navy, Special Forces. So I assured her that it's not going to happen on my watch, and we need to tell these stories. There are many people that don't understand. They need to know. And as we began this journey and realized the importance of paying it forward with knowledge, and we receive so many calls and requests, and people say that we inspire them, and that makes us feel good, makes her feel good. So now she's really happy that she did tell her story. She is a walking testament to resilience. You guys work in the field with real estate, and you have to be resilient in real estate, because I just recently took one of the brokers through a gamut of requests, and then I changed my mind. So I know it can be difficult, and I try to see things from his perspective as well as my own. The numbers were not matching, but I thought about, wow, it takes more than what I thought to be a realtor. You have to time management. You have to stay in the fight, stay in the game. And we just want to tell everybody, you guys do an outstanding job. You're necessary. And stay in the fight, stay in the game. Do the best job you can do. Mother Fletcher had to work till she was 85, and that wasn't by choice. So she had to clean people's homes until she was 85. That's when she stopped working. So we don't want you guys to go through that. So do the best job you can now, so you can retire when you want to retire. And if you want to remain a part-time agent, a full-time agent, we want you to do that on your terms and not because you have to do it.
Absolutely. Good words of advice there. So Speaking of telling Mother Fletcher's story, you both have co-authored a book. And tell us about the book, the title of the book, and just what you wanted to convey to the world by putting her story on paper.
The name of the book is "Don't Let Them Bury My Story." It's it's a story about resilience. It's about her entire life. Mother Fletcher worked in World War One as a shipbuilder. She helped weld the ships together and put things together. Cal Shipyard. I mean, the woman had a third or fourth grade education, and she taught herself to read and write. Imagine what she could have done if she had the technology that we have today and the resources that many people have at their fingertips. So, like I said, once again, it's about resilience. It's about manifestation, never giving up. Creating hope for others when you have no hope, and creating that and recreating that hope within yourself. She had 3 children she had to take care of, so she couldn't, she couldn't show weakness unless it was necessary. So, in writing the book, she wanted to share her story with the world. We didn't know she would be the oldest out there in the world, but we just want to, there's so many untold stories. Our ancestors used to pass these stories down. We used to pass down different traditions, whether it's carpentry, metal work, sewing, some of the things that they took out of schools today. So there's a lot of things that you need to pass down, even how to be a great salesman. Because in Black Wall Street, they were a jack of all trades. They had to pick the apples, ground the flour, bake the pie, sell the pie, eat the pie. So you have to be creative, and you have to be able to, be an entrepreneur and have that entrepreneurial spirit. But everybody supported everybody. Everybody in the whole community supported everybody, every which way but loose.
Does Mother Fletcher have any memories? I know she was only 7 years old when that happened. It'd be incredibly think about that. It's 103 years ago this year, right?
Right.
So does she have any memories about what it was like before the town was destroyed, about the merchants and the commerce and the businesses and
What was it like before they burnt everything down? How was the city like? What was Black Wall Street like?
Oh, it was fun, everything. We thought we had everything because we enjoyed parks, churches, and restaurants, and hospitals, and schools. Everything that children needed in the community when they were young.
I called it our first Wakanda.
That's funny that you say that, Ike, because our group here, the Black eXp Network, and you met Fee Gentry backstage. She, the founder of this group. This group was actually founded on the concept of Wakanda, right? Where we wanted to have a group of Black professionals and people who cherished excellence and achievement. And we wanted to make that not just a fictional place in a Marvel movie. We wanted it to be reality for us as business people. And so our mission is to, help our agents scale and just empower them, to educate them so that we can kind of recreate a Wakanda in real life for us, and not just in our company, but in our country and around the world, because we are a global real estate brokerage. So we have that in common with Black Wall Street. So we want to kind of pick up the torch, as it were, from there. But tell me about a little bit, now that you have the story out there. You're doing more than just writing a book, right? You have created a foundation, you and Mother Fletcher, in her name. Tell us about that, and what are some of the things and initiatives that you want that foundation to be able to help with?
It's primarily about population health and underserved communities. It's the Viola Ford Fletcher Foundation. You can go to www.viola-ford-fletcher-foundation.org. You can click on latest news and look at the videos. You can see where we've rebuilt bathrooms in Ghana. Our primary place is Ghana in Africa. We have a program that we're very proud of called the Pad Me Project. We give out menstruation pads to young women. We not only give them the pads, we give them brand new panties, bras, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, black soap. And we have Miss Earth Ghana come. She works for the foundation as well, and other women that teach the women, young women, the importance of menstrual hygiene. Some young girls were not going to school because they couldn't afford the pads, and they didn't want to be embarrassed because they're on their menses, as they say. And we want people not to miss out on the education because we want to build young women with great self-esteem. And that's the PADME project. So we always need help with the PADME project. We try to do 10 of those projects a year, and each project costs about $10K. So we would love to have sponsorship for the PADME project at a school or two. With clean water, we do free health screenings. We'll put up to an underserved neighborhood with doctors, nurses, and eyeglasses and medications that are common for malaria, for headaches, for different types of pains and ailments. Some of the people have never been to the doctor. We would pull up and create a scenario where it might be a first time that somebody's actually getting a chance to speak to a medical professional.
Wow.
So these are the things that we're most proud of, and we like to continue to do, along with other things in population health.
That's great work. And you mentioned being in Ghana. So you shared a story with us before we came on that Mother Fletcher has a unique designation as well. You want to talk to us about that?
Okay, this is
with her in Ghana.
her real title is Queen Mother Fletcher. So I'm a chief and she's a queen in Ghana. So if she shows up, they'll treat her like. When we first came, the first time they treated like Joe Biden was coming to Ghana. So we met the vice president, the president. We met all the ambassadors of Ghana from Australia to every country they came, and they brought presents and gifts. They called it ambassador's tea. We did a lot of things that was on the political side. We talked to a lot of news reporters and business owners. And I got a chance to really talk to some people on the ground. And I said, you know what? I know this is somewhat political. We're not political. We're really about helping people. We're getting it from the mud, we're getting it from the ground up. And I will return and do something in favor of the people. Because in Ghana, you have the haves and not have. So either you're rich or well-to-do or you're very poor. It's more poor than it is people that's well-to-do. So I returned. I kept my word. And created the Vital for Fletcher Foundation. So we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we have flashed the website up there for people. If anybody wants to go, they can donate through the site as well. Are they able to purchase a copy of the book there as well?
I'm not sure if it's a link to the book. You can buy the book on Amazon. I think Walmart. I think Amazon is easiest because it comes straight to your door. Or if you want bulk sales, you can contact me through the website, send a message to the website and contact me directly, or they can reach out to you. You have my contact information if they want us to show up in person. We just got back from LA. We did Theology in the Hood, where a group of churches brought us in and we talked to former gangbangers and a little bit of everybody, all walks of life. And we had grown men crying. After we had the conversation. It was a live conversation. Took 20 people to pick up and put on stage. Didn't take all 20, just 20 people wanted to help. So it was an amazing event. And now people are still calling from the West Coast trying to get us to come back. We did a Tabish Smiley show while we were out there. Had some good soul food, some oxtails. Ran into some good people. Everybody from, political people to represent that particular constituency, real estate agents. So we meet a lot of people when we do these events, and it really inspires us to keep going.
That's amazing that you are able to keep that type of travel schedule, Mother Fletcher, at 109 years old. You're the envy of all of us people who think that, we're getting older. So you're taking it to a new level there. Mother Fletcher, what would you want us to know as business people, as people who are trying to, be involved in our communities and leave a legacy and kind of stand on your shoulders from the people that you lived with in Greenwood and Tulsa there? What positive words would you like to leave us with about how you would like us to carry on in reverence to what you represent to us?
What positive message would you want to give the people?
Well, I feel like if I can do it, others should be able to do the same thing. And it's really worth it when you get into it.
I think she's speaking of the resiliency, you know what I'm saying? She used to tell me, you fall down, get up,
Yeah.
She said, look, boy, don't be soft, get up. Everybody falls down, get up. you know,
Yeah.
skin your knee and you have to shake it off and get up, you know. So she's saying if she can work to 85, be the oldest author in the world, travel halfway around the world to Ghana in the middle of a pandemic when people were afraid to come out and do anything, that, you know, you have to put your big boy pants on or big lady pants on, and you need to stand up and manifest what you want, work to what you want. You can't just talk about it, you got to be about it. So that's me summarizing what she really meant.
I know that she's probably going to saying that all the time. So yes, that's absolutely, you are absolutely about it, Mother Fletcher. There's no question. You're the epitome of being about it. And we can only, you know, aspire to be anywhere close to what you have, what you've done in this world, and that you're still out here telling your story and sharing it with people like us that need to hear it, that needs to know your history. Again, the title of your book is very telling. Please don't bury my story. And we are here to make sure that that never happens. We will carry your story on years beyond now as well. And thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you, Ike, for bringing Mother Fletcher to us today. It's truly an honor and a privilege to meet you both. All right. Thank you and bless you both. Good luck with the foundation. We've spread the word to everyone here, and we hope that you get the support, continued support from our community as well.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
You as well. Thank you. All right. So there you have it, guys. There's our surprise guest. Who knew that we'd be speaking to a member of living history, 109 years old, guys. And what we didn't talk about is that her brother was the second, or he was the youngest survivor, and he passed away last year at 102.
Wow.
So I'm not sure what is in the water in Tulsa, but perhaps we should bottle that up and package it and sell it. So welcome. I'm not the tribe leader. I am the tribe leader. Thank you, whoever typed that for me. I appreciate it. But welcome to Evolve, guys. It is our, what is it? It's our sixth annual Black History celebration here at eXp Realty, put on by the kids here at the Black eXp Network. Myself here, Fee Gentry, our wondrous founder, Damian Forrester, our other, you know, OG that was from the start in this group. We are here to present this presentation to you with great speakers and just knowledge and education and just a sense of community. You saw the video at the top. This is about our history in the past, but it's about where we are now and where we want to go. Fee, why did you want to name this event Evolve? What did it mean to you?
Well, we talked about evolution, right? There are things that are happening in society that are evolving, and I want to be very specific. Remember, we talked about initially, like, are we talking about revolution? But we said an evolution is a gradual onset of change that occurs over a long period of time, whereas a revolution is, you know, a sudden radical shift, and it comes with conflict and disruption. Well, as a community of business leaders and people of color in our community, it's really important for us to evolve, right? Because we're in this for the long term as business leaders and as a community, especially those of us who are underrepresented and undervalued. It takes time, and we're in it, as we could see from Mother Fletcher. This is a this is a journey. This is not going to be presto. So it's important to evolve. Yeah.
Absolutely. Damien, what say you, sir? We're here once again doing this for the people.
Yes, 6 years in a row here. I'm really excited to be here and to be part of this. I mean, just from everything that she said regarding the resilience, I mean, we're looking at history. She is history for all of us, and for all of us to be part of that, as well as how much it relates to the things that she said about resilience and real estate. I mean, we're looking at someone that's just absolutely amazing. So really excited to be here, really excited to hear what everyone has to say later on today. So thank you very much.
Right. So stick around, guys. We're going to have a panel that actually we're going to have a special guest speaker next. I'm going to bring on our host who's going to walk you through the festivities of the day. And at the very end, do not leave, because the piece de resistance of the day will be the Benji Awards, where we honor our best and brightest in the Black eXp Network. So that's going to start at approximately 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we have lots of good stuff in between. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce the young lady who is going to walk you through these great panels and speakers today. Ashley Johnson, our social media tribe leader, and just everything that everyone who keeps us current, these old folks keeps us in the know. Ashley, I'm going to hand the reins over to you. We're going to go away and let you introduce these great speakers and panelists that are going to just drop the knowledge on folks today. So Have at it, lady. Good luck, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Wow. Wow. Was that story not amazing? It made me think of a quote. Each of us, all of us need each of us. We need each other. And it was amazing to hear her story, and just, it's empowering. It's empowering to share your story, to help others, to be the change in your community. So wonderful. All right. Without further ado, I want to announce this beautiful young lady coming up next. Delisa D. Rose. She's a real estate leader. She is in my hood, North Texas. She's an ambassador for change and transformation. And I'm excited to bring Delisa to the stage up next to talk about what it truly means to evolve. Have at it, Delisa.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know this is virtual, but I just want everybody watching to just please, please, please give yourself and each other, wherever you are, a proud virtual screaming moment of just shouts and applause and acknowledgement of who we are, all we've been through, and all we will achieve in this lifetime right here. Yes, yes. So, greetings, members of the Black eXp Network, distinguished guests, affiliate professionals, and viewers online. My name is Delisa Rose, and I'm so honored to stand before you today as we celebrate this thing, Black history, Black culture, Black awareness, and even recognize the trauma and triumph and go from oppressed to evolved. This thing called life, it ain't always easy, especially for people of color. We are forced to navigate the complex landscape of life and the business world while being confronted with racism, discrimination, segregation, and the generational impact that years of slavery and oppression has had and still has on us today. And in spite of all things, we've shattered those glass ceilings, we've defied odds and carved out our places of prominence in society. And I mean, we kind of built this, right? And all this while we are still face systemic barriers and entrenched inequalities that threaten and impede our progress. I remember a time as a young agent when a white client asked me not to put my beautiful photo on a yard sign because they didn't want to upset their racist neighbors. Now, I also remember a time when my Black client told me they were afraid to use me as their agent out of fear that their offer into that prestigious community wouldn't be accepted if it was presented by a person of color. And as the only Black agent in my high-end multi-million-dollar selling brokerage, I was still surprised why they kept giving me affordable housing leads and yet did it again with another affordable housing lead they gave me in a Section 8 tenant. And I turned that into a $78,000 commission because that's what we do. Yes, yes. And after working 5 times more than other agents in my office and killing the game, I believe, I remember that time I thought to myself, I made it. Mama, I made it. And I purchased a home in one of those prestigious neighborhoods. And on a boring day, I just kind of decided to read the HOA docs for the first time, only to learn that the bylaws actually had a rule that prohibited homeowners from selling to Negroes, like myself, I guess. Now, can we say trauma? I mean, do you think is it possible that traumatic experiences like those are the reasons why I used to feel a little different not even different, uncomfortable. Let me keep it real, uncomfortable when I initially engaged with non-Black prospects and leads. Have you ever faced discrimination? Anybody else? Just chapel 1, anybody? Have you ever discriminated or had a prejudgment against others? Let me ask, do you knowingly or unknowingly treat non-Black clients or different than your Black clients or other nationalities? Are you more relaxed with some than you are with others? Do you code switch? Do you have a different set of vendors and lenders and people that you pair people with because you think that, oh, they might be more comfortable talking to such and such versus the normal person I go to? Have you ever, this is highly unlikely, but have you ever assumed that non-Black people needed a down payment assistance program? Or do you automatically assume that they have better credit and savings? I'm just asking, no judgment here. The reality is that most of what we know as Black people evolved from us once being called Negroes, coloreds, people of color, to Black, to African American, and I guess now we're Black again. It's learned from a place of trauma. Every decision we make and have made, we make first as a Black person. Yes? Don't get it twisted to say it. I am Black and I'm proud. Let me say that again. I am Black and I am proud. Why wouldn't I be? I am a beautiful Black woman. I'm an exceptional Black business owner. I am a Black queen. And I see you, my Black kings. Damien, I see you. I see my active Black fathers and my married, loving Black couples and intelligent young Black men. That just, if I have permission, can I get your permission to be courageous without y'all trying to strike me on my Black card? Well, to be honest, last time I checked about a Black skin 30, I could never lose my Black card. Yet I absolutely cringe at this oxymoron in these statements. Not even an oxymoron, because they too can exist, right? So I guess a paradox in each of these common statements. I mean, are Black women not normally beautiful? Is there something special or rare about being an active Black father? Or an intelligent Black young man? Is there a difference between being an exceptional business and an exceptional, excellent Black business? I mean, are we at the top of a lower, different kind of totem pole or something? Now, yes, I am certified in neuroscience, so I'm very aware and very sensitive to how words affect our subconscious minds. Because I'm aware that if 78% of our actions come from the subconscious place, how do these things affect what we do? How does it affect how you move and engage in business, others or Black? How does it aid or hinder your ability to scale and evolve? How does it affect your ability to be confident? How is your identity, and what is your identity other than Black? Anyone else ever feel the imposter syndrome before, when you go in the boardroom or go into a room and you just feel like maybe you don't belong, or maybe they're thinking about something, or maybe you're just not worthy to be here, and all of those inner securities or insecurities? Where do they come from? Why are they there? How did they get there? Now, no doubt at all, we often find ourselves walking a tight rope, balancing our realities of how it is versus how it should be. Our hopes, our limitless aspirations, weighted down and burdened, by the realities of racial discrimination, the perception of glass ceilings, and limited opportunities that may be there. It's a delicate dance. And amidst these challenges, there lies a profound opportunity for evolution and transformation beyond Black, Black and beyond, bigger than Black, more than Black. And I must admit that I've always been more concerned about how we get to the destination versus what's in the past. I mean, that's just success principles. Do successful people look out the windshield or look out the rearview mirror? No. I mean, some people say, yeah, you got to know what's behind you. You got to know what's coming up. Right. So think of this way. If we're running this race and okay, there's this thing called this marathon and the finish line is in front and you're running your race. What happens when you just keep looking back? But if we have to understand the past, to understand and reach the future, then let's talk about the past. And Willie Lynch, the author, the person who created that little whole thing about how to keep Black people oppressed for 300 years and even possibly thousands, he said, keep them in their trauma. Make them remember their trauma. So if that's the key to oppression, then wouldn't the opposite be the antidote? So as we gather here today to celebrate the future under the theme of evolve, I'm so compelled to challenge our perceptions of our identities and focus more so on our paths to success. If silence is complacency, then please, please, please don't be offended by my courage to speak the truth from my point of view. If we as Black people want our culture and our differences to be loved and to be embraced, if we want the equity and that we deserve and are entitled to, if we want to be treated as equals regardless of color, and to be included and seated at the table with the proper tools and utensils and all those resources, and my people know that we stand here at a pivotal moment in history where the evolution of our community, our professions, and our society at large demands the antidote, the fix. Look forward through the windshield, run your race, don't look back, embrace humanity, avoid segregation, and be inclusive. So I urge us to consider a profound paradigm shift. Transcend the confines of color-based identities and categorization. Embrace our shared identity as humans. So when you ask me how, allow me to just share 6 insights and tips that offer strategies to thrive and evolve. Number 1, to truly evolve, we must lead by example. Lead the charge of creating environments of what diversity, equity, equality, and inclusion should really look like, not only within our communities, but across all spheres of influence. We must be proactive in fostering environments of psychological safety and inclusion, where every voice is heard, every voice is valued, every voice is respected. Champion allies across all nationalities in a dialogue that transcends racial divides. Is it possible, just possible, that we're so used to not being heard, and we want so much to be heard, that when we are included, we push our culture and demand for everyone to know, demand for everyone to hear, and demand that everybody understand the Black fight, while we are inconsiderate, unconcerned, and even dismissive to the fight of others? Do we acknowledge some and they cool, and we kind of tolerate others? Do we go to conferences and events and sit next to our peeps? Or do we search out and sit next to others without even giving it a second thought? How many of you can name an Islamic, Asian, Jewish nationality or holiday, food, meal, culture? How many of you know what actually stresses Caucasians? I know we don't have time for it right now, but when you get home, I want you to do something. I want you to list out 5 of your closest friends, followed by 5, your 5 mentors, your 5 confidants, your last 5 clients, 5 people who inspire you. Oh, you could have fun with it. Begin planning your birthday party. List out your 50 invitation list. And then pay attention. Does your list represent the diversity, equity, equality, and inclusivity that we ask for? What's your DEI score? 2, expand beyond Black. One of the greatest obstacles we encounter is the psychological limitation we inadvertently and subconsciously place on ourselves when we tether with our identities like solely to the color of our skin. While our color and cultural heritage is an undeniable integral part of who we are, it should not be the sole defining factor of our identities. We must dare to envision ourselves bigger than Black, beyond Black, more than Black. Not just as Black professionals and people, but as individuals whose capabilities whose talents and potentials transcend the confines of racial categorization. We cannot act just as Black people where every move and every decision and every belief is because of our culture and our color. But instead, decisions are made because of character, morals, values, dreams, desires, and independent thoughts. 3, networking and community building are essential components of our evolution. By connecting with other Black professionals and allies, we can leverage our collective strengths, share insights, and create opportunities for mutual growth and advancement. Through advocacy and visibility, we can amplify our voices, showcase our achievements, and challenge the status quo. We know what we do when we get in boardrooms. Be in. How valuable would networking and building with a diverse group of professionals be to your life and your business? We must extend our arms not only to those who share our experiences, but also to all the individuals of different races and cultures. Willie Lynch, that guy, again, he wrote, keep them afraid, keep them inferior, distrusting of themselves and others, and divided from themselves and others. Thus, the antidote: reject the fear, the narrative of fear, reject the narrative of distrust and envy and segregation, separation, and instead embrace a narrative of unity, solidarity, and collective empowerment. One race, the human race. 4, studies reveal that Black professionals in corporate America have limited access to senior leadership, and disparities in mentorship opportunities. These challenges affect Black entrepreneurs striving to succeed in the world of business and beyond. The antidote is simple. I challenge each of you to find mentors, confidence, clients, inspirational people to connect to who can connect you. Find those neighborhoods to farm and 50 others to add to IG, LinkedIn, etc. Make sure they don't look like you. They don't think like you. Would you be comfortable? We must actively seek out mentorship, guys, forging connections that add additional insight, additional knowledge, additional perspectives, and information that propel us to greater success. 5, continuous learning and skill development are paramount in our journey towards growth in any way, evolution. We must invest in ourselves and commit to honing our skills and crafts and learning constantly until the day you die. So, simple question: when was the last time you took a non-required real estate class or got a certification? And by the way, do you know a company called eXp Realty has 24-hour on-demand classes for free? Have you tried them? Do you know that there's a state broker meeting any given Tuesday that provides valuable information that you should know? And I'm willing to bet money that in your community, there's a monthly city council meeting, a monthly PTA meeting, a monthly school board meeting, and area association meetings, and more. What are you learning? What are you learning? And who is your teacher? YouTube? Facebook? IG? Sounds silly, huh? 6, self-care and healing. As we strive to navigate this thing called life, we cannot ignore the broader societal forces at play. Does the world seem sick these days, like really ill? I mean, everybody is screaming, health is wealth, mental health is everything, while we proudly wear our trauma as a badge of honor. What do I mean by that? Oh, my historical hardship is harder than yours. My poverty was poorer than yours. The drugs in my street were worse than yours. The murder on my block was worse than yours. Ninja, please. Former Negroes, now African Americans, can say and be derogatory lovingly, but you dare not say the N-word. They dare not wear their hair like mine. They dare not, oh, they want to be us. It's equality. It's time to get real and heal. It's a cultural belief that counseling and mental maintenance can be replaced by prayer. Well, I'm a diehard prayer. And I prayed, and my God sent me a wonderful blessing named Dr. Johnson. Let us not be too prideful to realize that everyone needs healing, self-care, and preservation. We all need to establish healthy support systems, seek and ask for assistance when needed, and eliminate toxic conversations, toxic images, toxic people. How can you eliminate the word Black, the name? What? How many times do we say it in everything we do? Think, if it doesn't make you happier, healthier, wealthier, free up your time, well, maybe there shouldn't be any time for it. For far too long, we've carried the weight of psychological limitations imposed upon us by the color of our skin. Our identity as Black individuals has often been the focal point, the defining factor in how we navigate the business world and beyond. And I dare you to evolve beyond the confines of your skin and embrace the complex, multifaceted human being that you are. It's time to challenge the notion that our Blackness, that your Blackness, that a Blackness is the sum total of who we are. Now, don't get it twisted. Let us not mistake inclusivity for erasure. We must celebrate the beauty, the strength, and the resilience of the Black community, while also acknowledging our weaknesses in the areas of growth. So I challenge each and every one of you to consider, how does being Black impact the way you operate business? How does it impact your psyche? Are you allowing your identity as Black individuals to limit your evolution, consciously or subconsciously? Now, what would it look like if you identified yourself first and foremost as humans?
Yes.
The answers to these questions, or if you were identified also as human, the answers to these questions may not be easy to find or admit, but please know they are essential if we are to truly evolve as individuals and as a community, one community. It is in this spirit of self-reflection and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths that we can free ourselves from ourselves. And I know there's they, there's them, there's them. So bump what they, them, and the they think. What are you thinking and telling yourself? So as for me, I live in a world where opportunities are not limited by the color of my skin. I live in a world where my success, my future, my potential knows no bounds. And today, I want to know, would you join me? Thank you.
Thank you, Delisa. You are a gem. I have chills. Transcend and evolve, you guys. All right. Wow. Now, if you didn't get anything from that, I don't know. You need to rewind and watch this later. That was amazing. We are going to bring our next amazing panel up. We are going to talk about the importance of affordable housing and what that can mean for our communities. So I am going to let my fellow Ben Tribe leader, Mario Dove, take over and get this started.
Thank you, Ashley. I want to go ahead and apologize now. My Wi-Fi is a little sketchy, so if I drop out, I'm working to get back in. But as we commemorate Black History Month, it's imperative to reflect on the strides and challenges of homeownership for Black Americans. While progress has been made, the journey remains fraught with obstacles like appraisal bias and exclusionary housing practices. The 2023 State of Housing in Black America report is published by the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. It delves into the critical issues and sheds light on the complexities surrounding Black home ownership. Today, we gather to take a deeper look into those themes, exploring the state of affordable housing, the nuance of Black home.
Hey guys, so Mario's having some Virginia internet problems. So I'm going to just jump in and see if we can finish up until he can get back on. So Major Singleton, mortgage broker is it Edge Home Finance? Are you with? Is your company name?
That's correct.
And Daniel Dunham, our own Icon agent from eXp Realty out of Detroit, Michigan. All right, Mario, you back?
I'm back, but it might last about 30, 45 seconds. We'll see.
All right, well, I'm here if you need me. So
All right,
continue
so
on. Just telling the
got
people
it. So let's get into it. Black home ownership faces challenges due to disparities in income and wealth. Over the past 2 years, the housing market has been grappling with low inventory, soaring home prices, and high mortgage rates. Affording a median price home now demands a income of approximately $115,000 for Americans. Unfortunately, with the median household income for Black households at $52,000, many find home ownership financially out of reach. Additionally, the median net worth for Black households is notably lower, standing at about $25,000. That's 10 times less than their white counterparts. Now, this combination of factors has contributed to minimal progress in home ownership rates, which is, as of the fourth quarter of 2023, sits at about 45%, marking a 2.7% increase over the past decade. So my question for the panel, reflecting on history, how has discriminatory housing policies like redlining, how's that shaped home ownership since the signing of the Housing Act of 1968?
You want to go first, Major?
Yeah, I'll start this off. First, I think it's important for us to assess the relative nature of the term affordable housing. I was part of a panel similar to this, and we were doing an affordable housing meeting on a project that's being built in Hawaii. And their term for affordable housing, those homes are coming in at about $950,000. So, we have to first assess that. And when we talk about affordable housing, we have to acknowledge that affordable means different things for different people. Mm-hmm. So I think to your question, I think we have to just realize that the housing market grows and is growing, as your stats stated, faster than the rate of incomes. And then when you look at the income progression of Black Americans, that progression is not growing at the same rate as our white counterparts. So while the price of housing goes up and the income of our counterparts go up, as a whole, Black Americans are not keeping up with that. Therefore, we're having to come up with strategies and situations where we can just get people into something, although those homes might not be ideal, or it might not be all of the bedrooms and all the bathrooms that you want. We have to teach people to get started somewhere, because even if you get started on a lower level than it's ideal, then you do ride the same wave of inflation and home appreciation that everyone is riding right now. So we got to get started somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then also, Mario, one thing I always think about is that, yes, some people may not meet those income guidelines, but what about the people who do and still rent? What about the people who make six figures and they still, because of, family history, it's still not ingrained in them to become homeowner? It's really a bit of education that our community needs. I think, when it comes to homeownership as a whole, it's so important as Black realtors, Black mortgage officers. We have to educate. Most of my job is education. I'm not, educating them about a house. I'm educating them about becoming a homeowner, you know. So yes, you know, we don't make the same income, and yes, because of that issue, we're gonna have less homeowners.
Mhm.
But for the people that do actually have it, why are we, you know, we need to accomplish at least getting those people that do qualify to become homeowners, you know, and getting them across those thresholds, because everyone, it's not an income thing when it comes to our community. It's an educational thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Education is key. Education is power, but you know, again, you got to use that education. That's the key to it. You got to use that education.
Yeah.
So next, so during the period from January 2020 to 2023, Black home values experienced a remarkable surge, climbing by 42%, the most rapid growth observed across all racial and ethnic groups. Now, this upswing is indeed promising, especially considering that 66% of Black households' median net worth is tied to their home equity. However, despite these positive indicators, significant disparities persist within the Black neighborhood. So according to the report, homes situated in predominantly Black areas are appraised at values 21 to 23% lower compared to homes in non-Black neighborhoods. Moreover, these homes are also almost twice as likely to receive appraisals below the contract price. So particularly when contrasted with the properties in majority white neighborhoods. So my question, overcoming these barriers, right? What challenges do Black homeowners encounter in securing mortgage financing, and how can we address them?
Yeah, I'll tell you that this is a real thing, and you know, people think that, you know, people make these stats up or something like that. It's not made up at all. I think what we need to do is we need to start educating people about career opportunities that exist outside of even the mortgage side or the real estate side. Okay, many people don't know that the Biden administration actually has signed an initiative to employ more appraisers of color to try to combat this situation. And I have some personal friends that are getting into the appraisal business, and that's where we need to see more of a growth. Right now, about 5% of appraisers are actually people of color. So, you know, that's a opportunity that we have for people to get, for people to get education about being an appraiser. I will tell you that the barrier to entry to be an appraiser is actually higher than the barrier to entry to be a realtor and the barrier of entry to be a mortgage professional. They are required to have 4-year degrees. Why? Don't really know. But, you know, that is a requirement for an appraiser. So I think that is a place where we have an opportunity for growth, where, you know, you can get more people into being an appraiser so that we start to have more people of color, and we start to see that percentage grow from the 5% to the 10% to 15%. And we have Black people or people of color actually appraising Black homes.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. I wasn't aware of that 5% number, but it kind of checks with charts. I haven't been in real estate a long time, but I've never seen a Black appraiser. That's just been my personal experience. But
I probably know like 2 in Michigan, like seriously.
Right.
From on the real estate side, as a real estate agent, you know, I had a situation very similar this summer where I had a house listing agent, and the house 2 houses down, exact same build. I mean, it probably was the exact same builder. Just sold a month prior to my home getting appraised. Exact, you know, both on the same aesthetics, same updates, same everything, appraised $20,000 different. It's only
Same
different.
neighborhood.
I mean, 2 houses down the street.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and as a realtor, you know, I fought that appraisal. One, you got to advocate. I'm not going to let, you know, my client doesn't know, but to me, I was like, oh no, I'm like, I know you want to move, but if, you know, but I can't let you sell your house for this less, you know. And then also being able to put the house back on it, you know, we put it back on the market, you know, I fought it. They would refuse to. I gave every reason. I wrote the longest, you know, rebuttal to the appraisal. I gave every last reason why. So as a realtor, we have to advocate for our clients, right? Also be okay with, waiting on that commission, because we have to make sure our clients get the best deal. Putting that house on the market, and the house appraised for $30,000 more.
Yeah.
The last appraisal. So, I mean, I don't know what that next step should be after I see things like that. So we need to come up with things like that. Like, okay, so this just happened to me. Where do we go from here? But as a realtors, we have to advocate for our clients. I mean, we have to, especially when we actually see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Danielle, one more thing on that, Mario, if I may.
Go ahead.
I appreciate you brought that up, because as realtors, as professionals, as mortgage professionals, we have to know what the rules are for doing a reconsideration value on all of these programs. I'm a big VA lender. I do a lot of VA volume, and we were at the VA lending conference, and they revealed to us that the amount of VA appraisals that are all actually submitted for reconsideration value is less than 0.2%.
Wow.
So if an appraisal comes in low, you need to know, how that process works. What am I going to do if it's a conventional loan? What am I going to do if it's a VA loan? What do I do for an FHA loan? What does that process look like for me? And undoubtedly, there are many new agents on this call or going to watch this later. You need to check in with your mentors and figure out, how that process works. Also, make sure you're working with the right counterpart on the other side, a mortgage professional who understands how that works. I brought a guy onto my team, and he had worked at a retail kind of chain shop, call center type place of lending. And he had an appraiser that came in low once he came to my team, and he said, "Hey, how do I do this?" And I said, "What do you mean? You've been in lending for 10 years. You don't know how to do this?" And he's like, "No, I've never done a reconsideration of value. We would just churn them out, tell the realtors to figure it out, and we would not submit." So you need to know how to go through the process of organ appraisal and what those steps look like, and what's your backup plan when those come in.
Right.
Yeah, I know a lot of realtors can sympathize with me on this. Well, as a new agent, I was told that it's no reason to fight an appraisal. They hardly ever overturn. It doesn't work, XYZ. I was type.
Amen.
I always was. Well, I want to learn how to do it. I'll try anyway. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't hurt me to do it. We gotta go. We have to go over and beyond.
Right.
It's just our duty, especially when we're working with people in our own community. This is their first, just like we have people this is their first time buying a house. This is their first time selling a house.
Absolutely.
They should reap all that equity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Follow-on question. So how does the affordable housing crisis, we all understand the situation with builders stopped building years ago, and that's affecting what we have available now. But how does the affordable housing crisis affect Black communities, and what solutions can we implement to enhance affordability?
Yeah, this is a tough one, Mario. I think what I have been doing personally is trying to get out ahead of this and have a lot of conversations with builders, up front. There is not a lot of inventory. No matter if you look at any major growing city, inventory is low or relatively low compared to what we've seen in the past. We need to be getting out in front of this and having conversations with builders, talking about, having those conversations about incentives, strategies. What are you offering? And knowing how to match up those incentives and things to our individual buyers, even buyers that have, may have said, "Hey, I'm going to wait a year." If you've had a buyer that said they're going to wait a year, it's probably time to call them up. We've kind of figured out that interest rates are what they are. They're going to be what they're going to be. We have to get over that mental headache and figure out the strategies to get people, into homes.
Yeah.
For me, I want to give a little moment of clarity. I'm in Michigan, and Detroit is our major city where we have the lowest housing prices in America, or one of them. So it's not a matter of affordability, right? It's more so now it's the sticker price of that. Hey, what I used to get for this price is probably outdated, and I'm not going to get the most for it. So it's kind of more so shaping that, like, wow, 200, to them, I'm gonna be honest, this is just a real statement. I had one of my clients yesterday. For 250,000, these houses are pretty messed up. And I'm like, it's only 250,000, but to them, 250,000, I mean, you can buy in one of our best neighborhoods, like, totally updated. And it's like, that's not the case anymore, but, to me, what I feel like is really the issue is really getting out here, and figuring out what can you afford. Like, earlier on, Major spoke about like people really talk, getting into areas that, yeah, you may not get all your buttons. Like, I always explain to people like, hey, it's your first home. It's your starter home. Like, you're not gonna get everything you want in your first home. And I always try to share my story just to give some contrast to the conversation. Like, hey, I didn't get everything I wanted, but you're not gonna get everything you want, but you're gonna get equity. You're gonna get, you're gonna get a place. It's gonna be cheaper than your rent. If anything else, I can guarantee you that it's gonna be cheaper than you renting a place.
Absolutely.
Get them in the door somewhere. And then also what I'm noticing, is that when they get in the door somewhere, and it may not be the best area, that's more so here, right? You can probably get a very nice house, and it may not be the best area. Give it 5 years in Detroit, it will be a prime area, and you probably almost, 60, 30 to 40% in equity, you'll be up, that quick, So here is really a good thing to do, but you still got to convince them. I don't want to move over there, So that's it's more, I'll keep going back to it, but it's more education.
Absolutely.
Why don't you, if it's 250,000, you can get this 5-bedroom house in Detroit versus this 2-bedroom house in Westland, Michigan.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you get this totally updated house with a 2-car garage, and a basement, and all this stuff versus getting this shack in Westland? So it's just a matter of just education and just really breaking things down. And I learned once you really talk to somebody and just make them understand to their level, they typically make the best decision for themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. I saw a post on someone's, actually, I think it was on your Instagram, where someone basically said that, as a real estate agent, you are unlicensed counselor, right? We have to have the hard conversations with our people. We have to tell them what they don't want to hear, and, help them realize, hey, you got the financing, you got the money. You don't have to have what the Joneses have. You need to get what you can afford and what's good for you. So that's all great points. All great points. I'm going to circle back around to financing again, not to pick on you, Major, but while the median credit score for Black borrowers stood at 695 in 2022, it remains 56 points lower than white borrowers. This discrepancy stems from limited access to credit, the absence of generational wealth, and troubling history with discriminatory lending practices. Consequently, many Black individuals grapple with lower credit scores or encounter credit invisibility due to their lack of credit history. Consequently, 40% of Black consumers resort to subprime loans, characterized by higher interest rates compared to prime loans. And additionally, despite possessing checking and savings accounts, 25% of Black households opt to use alternative financing sources like payday loans, highlighting a status also known as underbanked. So my question, as it relates to examining affordability, what factors contribute to housing affordability challenges in the Black neighborhood, and how can we tackle them effectively? And I think we've spoken on this thus far, but I think there's value in
So Mario broke up there. Hope he comes back here shortly. So I think the major thing that, no pun intended, when I teach realtors, the thing that I try to communicate with them on is this topic of overlays. Okay, it is a very important topic in lending, and you have to know how it works for your buyers. For example, if you go into a bank and they say, hey, our minimum credit score for an FHA loan is 580, or our minimum credit score for a FHA loan is 620, that is that lending company's guideline that they set or that credit score that they set on lending for that particular program. What happens is people get turned away because they think that's the minimum credit score on whatever program. Okay. And what reality is that's the minimum credit score for that particular lending institution on that particular program. Okay. So I run into this a lot when people go to big banks for VA loans. Like, hey, the minimum credit score is 620. I don't have a 620. Doesn't matter. I mean, I've done VA loans in the 500s. So it's not a big deal. There are certain other guidelines, but you can get it done. So I think within our community, we have people that are turned away from owning homes because some lending institution tells them that, look, you can't buy a house because your credit score is X. And that's not entirely true. Okay. You have other sources and other mechanisms to get funding and get financing for homes. If you just frankly shop around and ask some other people for guidelines and stuff like that, and not be beholden to what ex big banks tell you, because they are contributing actually to the problem of our people not getting into homes. So I think that's a big thing that we have to really focus on. What about you, Danielle?
I think I keep going back to education, but it is education. One thing I see in a lot of older adults is that, I just went to my bank, and a lot of banks are not traditional mortgage lenders. They're not like, they don't run off of, I do mortgages, so I just went to my bank. It's the easiest thing. They already got my account information. So, that's sometimes the problem. They go to certain places and it doesn't work for them. They don't understand. I tell every client, hey, you're fine to shop around for you shop around for a lender like you shop around when you're looking for a car. Who gives you the best deal? Who gives you the best interest? But that's totally, I just think it's a lack of education. Like, 695 is a great score to get a mortgage. Like, I get it. Like, they usually have higher, higher credit scores and things like that. But a person with 695, that's a goal. Let's go get you a house today.
Absolutely.
And then couple that with down payment programs and all of that. It's no issue. It's just them being able to have access to the information, them knowing about down payment programs. A lot of people don't buy a house because they think they can't afford it. They don't have the money saved. That's truly the problem. I think when it comes to our community is the money it takes to close on a house.
Absolutely.
More than anything. Credit is pretty easy to fix, or you find people with credit, and most people have the job. They have to support themselves. They may not make the most, but they think about, in their head, you buying a house, you got to spend $1 million to buy a house. So I think it's just I think it's just getting out and more education as a realtor. That's why I try to do things, even though I don't need to at this level after being in real estate so long, but things like home buyer seminars or community events and going to high schools and talking about home buyers, becoming a realtor or buying a homes and things like that. Like, we have to understand that, yes, we are making an income, but we also have to make an impact in our community, because it's more than just us being realtors, because we fight a different fight. It's different for our community when it comes to home ownership. It's not a lot of us either. They just talked about you said there's so many appraisers. It's not that many Black realtors.
That's true. That's true. And I know we got to wrap up. Actually, I feel so. I'm just like you, Danielle. I'm very passionate about education. And sometimes when we do these home buying seminars, people will think, "Hey, I wasted my time," and because nothing came out of it. Look, we as a collective, we are digging away at generations and generations of information, and we're trying to penetrate something that is absolutely, sometimes it takes all of us working extremely hard to get information into people's heads and help them understand everything. So you never waste your time with a home buying seminar. You never waste your time with the buyer. You are investing in your community as a whole.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you guys, I want to thank you for coming on. This was a great conversation, and we're going to do better for the community. Thank you, Major, and thank you, Danielle. All right. We're going to move it on to our next panel, which I am very excited to welcome these members of our eXp leadership. Please welcome Chief of Growth Officer, Chief of Growth Officer, Michael Valdez, our Director of Growth, Tony King, and Vice President of Brokerage Operations, Lauren Coleman. Welcome, you guys.
Hello.
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 Welcome. I mean, thank you. Very happy and honored to be here.
We are
Howdy.
so excited you guys are here. Take it away.
Yeah, so
Michael, if you like, I think your name was on there first. So
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation for this platform. It is so important to have these conversations. I was just listening to Mario, Major, and Danielle before. That level of conversation is so important throughout our entire network. It is important for such a variety of reasons. It's so important to empower our diversity communities, especially the Black community, the Black entrepreneur network that we have here at eXp, and the importance of what that is because of how that changes generations. Just think about that. How it changes lives, how it changes generations. You start thinking of somebody like an Oprah or a Tyler Perry. Just think about the impact that their lives have had for generations to come. And it impacts everyone. It impacts the entire race, not just the Black community. It empowers everyone to do better, to be better, to have a change. And so that's why these conversations are so incredibly important. You know, you guys know that I'm the executive chair of all of our DEI affinity groups. And when we start looking at this, when we start talking about the BEN network, and we start talking about entrepreneurship, and we start talking about how that is so passionate, it's so passionate for me to be a part of it, to support it, to be there. And Tony and Lauren, you just exemplify so much of your leadership skills that it is such an honor for me to be in business with you guys as well.
no, thank you. Yes, I mean, it is really so for definitely loving the theme centering around evolving for this Black History Month celebration, because we know when it comes to evolving, that embodies a necessity to have to grow, right? Have to push through challenges and trials and tribulations, right? While also striving for something greater, and that goes hand in hand with the current state of the real estate market. So definitely spot on there. And we just want to make sure that we're expressing how much we prioritize at eXp and hold true to our company core values in efforts to provide support and equitable inclusivity within our eXp community, right? Like we're constantly doing what we can to create environments where our differences are celebrated, and we couldn't do that without you guys, without you agents, without our Black EXP network and other one EXP groups. I'm sure I don't know about everybody else. I can speak for myself. I figure most people didn't start off in real estate. A lot of people come from different industries, different backgrounds, professions, and experiences. And I know for me, it's not too often that you come across a company that is willing to not only talk about its efforts or talk about wanting to be more inclusive, but you find a company like eXp that actually puts dollars, resources, time, platforms, and make it available to people in order to make things like this, events like this, activities, groups like BEN possible. So we really do appreciate it. And also, I just want to say, like our agents also, you guys embody our core values of service, because even with us desiring to be inclusive, we need the people, right? We need the resources, and your passion, it just reigns true in what we're seeing, because we wouldn't be able to have events like this if you guys didn't do what you do. So really appreciative.
absolutely, Lauren. And if I can add just one cherry on that, while we still have a couple minutes, I mean, my gosh, what an honor to be asked to kind of come and speak and share with you all. I love this company, and I love the opportunity that it's provided for me and so many others here at eXp to serve the agents. They took a shot on me, a young Black kid from South Detroit, right? And said, hey, Tony, we want you to run the whole brokerage of the second largest independent brokerage in the nation, right? Almost 10,000 agents. And I don't forget that. And it means a lot, because it meant a lot to me at my previous role. The reason I went there was because there was a Black person that was in leadership. And now he's the chief something officer at Redfin, head of sales or something. I don't know. Head of real estate, I think is the name of it. But regardless, when you can see people at a particular level, it makes it real for you. Like, hey, if this person did it, I can do it, right? When you see Black people in executive leadership roles, when you see them crushing it, y'all, a lot of folks don't know we have Black icons. We have many Black icons. Obviously, some of them are here. We have Black betas. We have Black alphas. We have Black mega teams. My gosh, we just brought on a huge mega team in Texas. And shout out to that team. The CR Elite Realty team came over with 70 agents, predominantly Black, like almost all of them. So there's not a lot of that outside the eXp environment where we're able to come and really show our stuff and show what we're truly capable of. I think that, and it blew my mind when I was chatting with Melanie before this event. I think we have somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 members of BEN. 4,000 to 5,000 members of BEN, and the goal, at least short-term goal, is to get that to 10,000. She has some like crazy BHAG dream of like being like over 100,000, and hey, I'm down for it. Like, let's go, because when we get to 1 million agents, I think that the numbers work out, right? We get to 1 million agents, we should have about 10,000 or 100,000. So yeah, but regardless, I'm so excited to be a part of this, and I'm so excited for the future. This is a huge part of eXp. Is a huge part of the growth plan for the future of eXp, to provide this platform, to provide the examples, and to provide the leadership, and to support Black entrepreneurship. It's what we do. It's one part of what we do here at eXp, and it's time to start telling that story more. And that's why we're all here.
Yeah. And can I say too, before we have to go, we do have opportunities to get together in person. And so it is always nice, and we understand the benefit of being able to get together virtually, but we've got events coming up with the regional rallies that's coming, to a city near you. So be on the lookout for that. And then really looking forward to connecting with everybody at eXpCon. We know the BEN, Black, thinking about BET, Black eXp Network. We know
this might be streaming on BET.
I know, hey, right? But we know how you guys throw a great party, and really looking forward to, seeing more people come out and be a part of that, so we can meet you face to face. Because I will say, I know you probably hear it all the time where it's like, oh, get your tickets because they're running out fast. This truly is a record year. Probably has something to do with the event not being in Las Vegas this time.
That's right.
In your backyard, Michael, right?
Right.
We plan to sell out this year, so we definitely want to make sure that you're present and in the space.
That's so awesome.
Amazing. I just want to say how excited I am to see, people of color in your position. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. That was wonderful. All right. So our next speaker is going to talk about what everyone wants to know about, which is AI. All right. We have Valencia Gibson is coming up next, and she's going to give us some new perspective on how we can utilize AI in our businesses. All right. Hello, Valencia.
Hi, how are y'all? Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Valencia Gibson. I affectionately go by Coach V to most of my students. I'm a real estate coach and mentor, as well as a realtor when I'm not teaching, which is almost never. But I get an opportunity to share with a lot of people. And one of those things that's very near and dear to my heart is technology. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but technology, the first computer actually is said to be a linear algebraic calculation machine that was created around 1937 and not introduced until about 1940s. Okay. And then the public use of computers didn't start really happening until like 1970s, 1980s. I was born in 1987 and I got my first computer in 1993. My family was one of the first families to get a computer on our street. As a matter of fact, when we brought it in, my stepfather worked as a IT who had brought computers home just to fix on them. And when I first saw him bring this huge IBM convertible laptop box. Okay, we didn't know it was called that at the time. Just looked like a really big suitcase, or the blow dryer that some Black families used to use before church on Sunday, you know, where you pull that little plastic cap out and you pull the holes and you plug it up. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You get your hair washed and then you put that blow dryer on. It comes out the kit. And when you're done, you're going to get a hot comb burned to your ear. That's how that box looked, but it was super sized, mega sized. And I'm like, what is this? And you unlatch the top of it, pull down the case. There's a laptop. There was a mouse on a coil card on the inside of it. There was a big slot for what we used to call a Tandy or a floppy disk, floppy SanDisk. And then there was a little screen on the inside of it. And it only used Unicode and primary colors for you to draft things and do things on it. And then we got a little fancier. We got us a desktop computer, and all my friends would come to my house to use the computer because, again, it was not a widely affordable device. Your socioeconomic class from where I was growing up was not that great. The main thing people focused on my street and trying to get is a color TV. And that's when they started coming out with the good color TVs that you could sit on top of the old box TVs your grandparents used to have. And then they messed up when they introduced the big screen to us, okay? That big old mega screen. I'm talking about sports events, supersized, concerts on point. And I heard someone speak about BET, yes, and more yes, and MTV on the big screen. And so anyways, back to technology. We had our computer, and I did a lot of trying to figure out the usage, trying to figure out how to rebuild it, trying to figure out all these things. And then I did a lot of preaching to my friends. You guys have to get this. You guys should, see how to work this, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, I'll let you know when to move that slide. We didn't have access to this, and still today, it is 2024. And today I see so many people in our culture struggle with the use of technology. So many real estate experts, so many business owners who just do not grasp the use of technology really well. And there's still a very huge divide in technology. And now what I'm starting to hear is all these people that are now getting frustrated with all of the things that they're providing. So the name of my segment today is, are you tired of AI yet? Okay. And if you are, too daggone bad, because it's not going anywhere. So use it, learn it, and join the thousands of AI users who are simplifying their lives with the use of this technology. We can move to the next slide. Let's go. So, just a brief of AI and its evolution. If you think that this is a new concept, you are wrong. Remember, I said the first computer was invented actually in 1937, and that linear algebraic system that calculated those equations would have been considered AI for them at the time. Today, it has evolved from being a mere calculator to being in the palm of our hands. Some of us are sometimes fooled by, no intention to bring any companies down. But y'all know we have the war between the Android and the Apple. And the funny thing is, while we're worrying about these OSs on these devices, they're printing out more and more and more and more manufacturing, I should have said. And we're getting the same device in different sizes. You hold your phone, it does the same thing your tablet does. You hold your tablet and it's like a hybrid of what your MacBook and your phone can do. Or if you are a PC user, it's like, what your Android can do, but on your, like a better version of what your Android can do. They just simplified it in your Android because PC was in existence and Apple was already Macintosh and in existence. And so these devices are being made big and small and big and small and big and small. And despite how many times they make it and how they're trying to recycle history and make it better and better, the flip phone has even come back out in a better brand. It is still the same operating systems, just with different ways of utilizing it for other reasons. So it has evolved greatly where now we can take our computer with us wherever we go, because we take it with us in the palm of our hands or on the comfort of our laps with our tablets or our portable small PCs or MacBooks that can handily fit into our bags or wherever you might keep them. Okay. And then you got to understand that everything you've been doing up until this point has involved some form of AI. For real estate professionals, we use Zillow and Realtor and all these different places to list our information so that it spreads across the web and the algorithms find and retrieve and push you out in front of the traffic that are looking for people like you. That is AI. We use Alexa devices. We use, Siri. We use, for some, Katera and all of these other devices that serve as assistants. That is AI. As a matter of fact, you wanted it to be easy once upon a time when you were younger, if you were a millennial or, a baby boomer or a Gen Y, I believe it was, or Gen X, can't remember. Sorry, y'all. You wanted to have a way to go and turn on the TV without having to get up and go and turn on the TV. So a lot of you got remotes. Although the system is referred to differently, that was AI. So it's not intimidating of what these machines are being made to do to make life better and make life more quality. But some of you guys fear the machine Armageddon when they start to think on their own, because they've been trained by us human beings to put knowledge inside of these computers that are going to help us. I get it. That can be intimidating. That can be scary, but that's no time soon. So, and it's not going anywhere. So learn how to use it to power your business before it replaces you in your business. Let's move on to the next slide. So I talk about the examples of daily use. You guys are using Alexa and Siri and online customer support chatbots and personalized recommendations that you receive for the movies that you're watching on Netflix and Amazon. All of that is powered by AI. They're gauging your interaction and your engagement, and they're saying, based on, all of you guys have seen this before, based on what you watched, okay, this is what I recommend to you. This is what you guys have to know, that that's exactly how you want your business to run as professionals in the industry or in any business. That based on what you viewed, this is what I want to recommend to you. And some of you guys are using this. If you're here at our company at eXp, you're using KV Core. Maybe some of you are at other places, you're using Boomtown and you're using Chatbox, and all those things are helping you. Chime is what I meant to say, but chatbots on Chime and things like that. And all those things are helping you to actually prospect your clientele better. So the point is that it's not the future concept. We're already deeply immersed in this life already. All it's doing is being enhanced for our personalized experience. Next slide. There was a disclaimer at the bottom that says that we were projected to be at $737 billion deep into AI use and technology. It is the way. It's a great investment to make. So some of the things that we face, okay, especially that we're talking about being people of color, being Black people in the industry. I heard Delisa say earlier, how she was passed over because of her picture on a sign or a family that felt like she wasn't going to be able to sell it effectively. And this still very much exists. As a matter of fact, I have a personal story. I got the opportunity to list a $2.7 million property in Kaufman. And the gentleman that I spoke with on the phone seemed pretty nice, very friendly. And we spoke about his home values. He said, "Oh, you seem very, very knowledgeable." I talk on a regular basis when I'm having a conversation with my clients proper, because that's how I was brought up in my household. Now, don't get it twisted. I can get a little country slang, but I was brought up in my household talking business professionally, articulating proper language, I was given the English tongue, or whatever. And so I pretty much made sure that I make sure that I'm always articulating when I'm having a conversation with someone. So this guy really valued the conversation that we were having. I did detect, we all do this, that, verbally he was a white person. And there was a certain intimidation that came over for just a minute where I felt a little inadequate, just being honest. He asked me to come out to his house and to evaluate his property. And I did the thing that some of us do. Forewarn helps us to look at the background and the information on our clients. And, Facebook helps us to see what are their friends, are they diverse, are they going to be accepting to me, because I've had happen several times to me. Well, I talk proper, I show up, and then when I show up, my clients sometimes don't want to use me, and I detect that there might be some type of tension there. Okay. As a matter of fact, I've had it happen right in front of my face, where a person said to me, I'm waiting on my realtor. I said, oh, is your name? They said, yes. I said, I'm the young lady you spoke with earlier. Valencia? I said, yes. Oh, that was a mistake. We have another realtor we're waiting on. And they called one of my friends, and my friends just happened to be a Caucasian realtor. And she said, Valencia, I literally had just got the call a few minutes ago and I went there. That hurt. So a little PTSD when I have to take on this next client that I'm going to go and serve. And trust me, I serve all diversities and we do really well. But I moved to go and serve this other client. And when I went, they didn't want to work with me. That hurt. So a lot of times we can experience a lot of things on this market, but nevertheless, we don't focus on those who don't want to use us. We focus on the ones who do. So if you don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with you. But if you want to work with me, you're going to have an excellent experience, and it's going to be tailored with both my participation and AI. So I live in the same world, Elisa, in a world where I have limitless possibilities today. Okay, so let's talk about it. Market challenges, client demands, administrative burdens, competition and burnout, and career reevaluation. We saw the biggest influx of agents leave this industry when the interest rates went up and everything went crazy, spooky. So next slide. When we're dealing with market challenges and unpredictable market economic fluctuations, the impact of buying and selling, based on the interest rates, based on all different types of things, we have to stay ahead of the trends. Now, while there are so many AI bots coming out, like Chatbot and Gemini by Google, and which was formerly Bard, and all these other places, we still have some very good gems within our network that have always been here, but that added that ChatGPT feature or script writer to it. One of those is our real property resources called RPR. Many of you, no matter where you are, you hold this inside of your MLS. One of the good things that it has added for some of you who didn't know is scriptwriter. Scriptwriter is the best way to stay ahead of the game by auto-generating market summaries, insights and key stats and inventory pieces, price ratios, market days, sold prices, tailoring messages to your buyers and sellers, choosing from professional and engaging to conversational tones in those. Content for social media, videos, and emails. You literally can write a whole social media 30-day, a year, however, kind of drip for yourself, or pre-planned calendar schedule for yourself on market updates and market trends and what's happening in new homes, that are coming out. And then you can obviously use Canva, who has Magic Writer today, and the Magic Designer to design those graphics from the data that you've collected on RPR. And from there, you've got your RPR mobile that has your brand. You can share that across the way with all of your clientele and keep them updated. And you can integrate a lot of these things into your CRM tools by utilizing other type of components, integrated components like API and Zapier. So that helps you to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to market challenges. Next slide. Client demands. Oh, how demanding can clients be? High expectations for quick and personalized services and advanced digital experiences today. Because today, no one really wants to leave the confines of their homes unless they're extroverts, sorry, and they really love to have a turn up good time. Okay. Most people have now been shopping from the confines of their homes, on their computers, taking virtual tours that they could actually walk through using Matterport, using Meta virtual reality. You like literally you have your virtual reality headset on and you are standing in the house and you're walking through the house. A lot of people have enjoyed having experiences like that. Experiences where you can see the good, the bad, the ugly, the imperfections, and all of those things. And there are so many real estate professionals who have just not caught up with the times. As a matter of fact, many of us, it's an easy way out. We still just send the regular photographer to take regular photos, not realizing how we can increase the possibility of selling a property super quick by introducing virtual reality to those who are viewing our homes so that they can too experience that and call you. It's just convenient to get off of work at night, come home, put those VRs on, and then tune in into a property. So there it is. I use Google for everything. They have an entire suite. You can go and check out that suite of free uses at the Real Rainbow Coach. We have a next slide here that also talks about Google Duplex. It takes your voice. It uses your voice or whoever voices you want to use, but be careful. And it has a whole conversation with you. It will schedule your appointments, your doctor's appointments, your hair appointments, your client appointments for showings, just as if it were you. You want to learn more about that? Same site, The Real Rainbow Coach.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, Valencia. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation. You guys, AI is no longer the future, it's now. So figure out how to leverage AI in your business and in your life. All right. Next up, we have we're bringing this presentation, presenter to the stage. She's no stranger. Chauncey Pham is a television star, social media influencer, and an all-around, which I love, raw and real woman. So please welcome Chauncey, and she shares some insights on what's real and what's not on social media. Welcome, Chauncey.
Welcome. Can you hear me okay, Ashley?
Yes, absolutely. Looking gorgeous.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. And I love being a part of this event every year. Super cool. So we will get started here in just a second. But while we are waiting on my presentation to pop up here on the screen, I'll just do a quick little intro of myself. Again, my name is Chauncey Pham. I'm a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I've been with eXp Realty since September of 2019. My organization currently has about 350 agents in it across 31 different states. I leverage the time that building out my organization at eXp and the time that gave me to kind of step outside of production to really hone in on the investment side of my business. So my husband joined me in the business back in 2019. And we started Family Capital Partners, which is our fix and flip investment company. And it got the attention after about a year and a half because of our unique designs of television. And so I was approached back in November of 2021 by a production company that had a television show that was already on. And my husband and I started filming that show in June of 2022. So we are wrapping up our second season right now. It's been really, really awesome. But in addition to that, I do a lot of coaching. I do a lot of training. I do a lot of mentoring. I do a lot of speaking. And through all of that, I've kind of learned a lot. So once the presentation can pop up here in just a second, then I'll kind of go through it. But the name of my talk is Flash versus Cash. And I guess while we're still waiting here, I'll just talk to you guys a little bit about where that kind of came from. So a couple of different places. Hold on just a second, Cody. Bear with me. Bear with me, guys, just a moment. We're trying to get my presentation up. You know, we've got nothing but time. I'm gonna just try it again. This is quiet and awkward. So I did my little intro, but again, so flash versus cash is just this idea. So I'll just kind of wing it here. I'll go off the cuff. That's what I do, right? I'm on TV. So flash versus cash is this whole idea that as Black and brown agents and Black and brown people in general, we typically have to show up in spaces better than other people. I think that if you interviewed 10 people that are Black and brown, they would tell you that regardless what industry they're in, what space they're in order for them to even just be considered at the benchmark, they've got to show up better. And so I end up having a podcast. I was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and the podcast was about diversity. It was very interesting because this podcast is run by three white guys here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's a very popular podcast, and they were really scared to kind of touch on this subject of diversity, but they brought me on because they said, you know, you're the only one that really makes us feel comfortable enough to ask these questions and talk about it. So during the talk, they asked if Black and brown people, or if agents in general, if our customer base is typically our sphere of influence. And our sphere of influence is typically going to be people that look like us and that are in our circle, then that would mean that Black and brown people, that's who you're selling to. But the problem is there are only 5% of agents that are Black and brown. And so, hold on, guys. I've got them asking for my presentation again. I apologize. Okay, so it's coming now. So I guess we can start this over. There we go. Flash versus cash. All right. So flash versus cash is, now I'm thrown off. Now y'all got me off my game. But here we go. So flash versus cash. So it's all about the intersectionality between branding and the attainability of housing is ultimately where this came from. So let me kind of go back to this story of being on this podcast. I'm on this podcast with these three guys. They're boisterous. They're white guys. They're kind of, you know, the bro podcast guys. And so then they ask if we tell new agents when they get into the business that what they're supposed to do is reach out to their sphere of influence to buy homes and to sell homes and to let them know that they're in real estate, if Black and brown people are only 13% of the population, if Black and brown people are only 5 to 6% of the realtors out there, and if Black and brown folks are only about 13% of the people that are actually buying houses, how can Black and brown agents even get a lot of clients? And does that mean that ultimately we would have to appeal to people outside of our communities to get the type of business that we would ultimately want to get? And so it was a great question that they asked. And so it was this whole idea of flash versus cash, where I started to talk a little bit about how the Black agent shows up in their branding and how that branding ultimately has an effect on what's in the marketplace. So Cody, if you could go to the next slide for me. So again, who am I? I went over this kind of in the beginning, but again, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a mentor, I'm a speaker, I'm a realtor here in the DFW area. I am a real estate investor and do a lot of fix and flip homes here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I'm a television host on the A&E network for a show called Zombie House Flipping. All right, so this is perception versus reality. So this is the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about, which is our branding. It seems as though because when we show up on things like television and on social media, the consumer automatically puts us on a pedestal that we probably shouldn't be on. And I think a lot of people have a really hard time because as Black and brown folks, we typically think that we've got to show up in spaces better than everyone else. So we tend to go overboard. So what I wanted to show you with this slide is that perception versus reality are two different things. So when I just ran through my entire resume to you guys and told you that I was on television, I'm on the A&E network, we're getting 800,000 to 1 million views on every single episode, you would think that I'm probably making a whole lot of money from that. And I wanted to be very candid with you and show you that just because there's a lot of flash behind something doesn't mean that there's necessarily a lot of cash. As you see here, last year in 2023, my appearance fees for the television show that I'm on were $25,625. That's what I made, $25,000 in appearance fees. Yes, there were other things that brought money from being, in television. I did get, bonuses to my company for renovation fees and things like that. That did amount to, over six figures. But my actual appearance fee, if I didn't happen to be on a television show that was about flipping houses, and I was just a reality person on, a show like Selling Sunset or some of these Selling Tampa and some of all these other shows, guys, season 1 and season 2 of these television shows, you are lucky to make $1,500 an episode. Okay. And I think because Black and brown agents feel like we've got to show up to the marketplace and to the world in a certain way and create this certain perception, that it is ultimately affecting our responsibility on changing the disparities that's in the housing market, because we're showing up in a way that is not relatable to the client. So that is where this whole talk came about when I was on the podcast that I kind of went into, which is this flash versus cash thing. If you go to the next slide, Cody. So quick little story time. And so for those of you that were in Detroit and heard me talk in Detroit, you've heard this story, but let me give it to you real quick. Back in 2011, before I got into real estate, I worked in the marketing field. I was making about $55,000, $60,000 a year. I was really good friends with my boss who made about $75,000 a year, and we're both shopping for homes. At that time, my husband and I had gone under contract for a new construction house that was $256,000. We were scraping pennies and eating ramen so that we could save up the 3.5% down that we would need to actually buy the house. My boss was also searching for a home at the same time, but her budget was $550,000. So I worked up the nerve to ultimately ask her, how in the world are you guys able to afford so much more home? We're the same age. I know how much money your husband makes and how much my husband makes. We ultimately net more money than you guys do. So how is this a thing? So she went into this story of how her husband's grandfather was in the military, and when he got out of the military, he used his GI Bill to buy this piece of property that was ultimately sold, and he gave that money to her father-in-law, so her husband's dad. He then took that money, which was around $80,000, $90,000, and he bought a condo in Florida. They urged the son, when he graduated from high school, to go to college in this college town where this condo was, and the son did. So they gifted him this condo while he was in college. It was a 2-bedroom condo. So he lived in one room. He rented out the other room. So he ultimately in college owned property and had an income producing property that he could use that extra money from his roommate's rent to use his extra spending money. And when he graduated from college, guess what he did? He sold that condo for $150,000 and moved across the country to Texas, where he met my boss. They then bought a $170,000 house in the Austin area. And instead of figuring out where to come up with the extra $20,000, because remember, he sold his condo for $150,000, now he's buying something for $170,000, his parents gave him a loan for the $20,000. So his mortgage payment or his rent payment each month was about $300 a month. And that's all they had been paying for the last 6 years that they'd been in that house. And now it was time to sell it. And it had obviously appreciated. The value had gone up. And when they'd sell that house, they would sell it for about $250,000. So when they sell it for the $250,000, all they'd owe the parents was a couple of $1,000s. The rest was free and clear to put down on that $550,000 house, which would ultimately leave them around the same dollar amount of home that I was going to be getting. But because they were putting down such a lofty down payment, their interest rate would be lower. They wouldn't have any PMI. Their payment's going to be lower, and all of these things. And that was an aha moment for me that made me realize that we are literally living in different realities. That we have unique problems in the Black community, and it is our responsibility as Black agents to show up in spaces that our clients are. So that's online, that's with our branding in a way that ultimately speaks to them. Because if you can go to the next slide, Cody. So what you're talking about, Will, is brands that fail to effectively communicate accessibility may inadvertently create barriers limiting the perceived attainability of the service. Guys, what we have to understand is our target market is different. The median household income of the Black household is $45,000. Next slide, Cody. That's totally different than these other folks that we've been talking about. We're just different, and that is just the reality of it. Home ownership rates among African Americans as of 2021, the home ownership rate for white Americans was approximately 74.5%, while the rate for African Americans stood at 44%. Wealth disparities, the median net worth of white households is around 188,000, and for Blacks it's 24,000. Mortgages, we face higher mortgage denial rates than others. Our home values, the median home values for white folks is around 240,000 versus 127,000. Our down payment amounts only come in around 7% versus theirs at 12%. I say all of that to say that I would like for you to ultimately have some awareness around how you're showing up online. Because the clients that you're talking to, this is them. There are wealth disparities. There are disparities in how often they're going to get approved for a mortgage. There are disparities in their family history and how much money they're able to come to the table with because of the leverage that their family isn't necessarily able to provide. And here you are showing up online because you've got a mental block and you've got trauma that's happened your entire life that's told you you've got to show up better than everyone else. And you're showing up in front of a Bentley or in front of a Lamborghini that you rented off of Turo. And here it is, your client has a median household income of $48,000 and you're wondering why you can't get any sales. Understand that perception is reality, and understand that our responsibility goes beyond simply servicing these clients, but also the whole cycle of bringing more Black and brown representation on the sales side and actually being realtors is going to be contingent upon our pool of buyers and sellers and people that we can actually work with in our sphere of influence. And it's almost what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So we as realtors can't expect to get more representation on our side of the buck if we're showing up in a way that is not really going to attract more of the consumers, because we are inadvertently making them feel like our services are not attainable with the fur coats and the fancy cars. And this is how we're showing up online instead of being more relatable. Next slide, Cody. If they can't see themselves in the picture. So I heard Brother Ben X talk about this one time, and he took this from a talk that the Honorable Louis Farrakhan did at one point, where he was standing before an audience and said, if I took a picture of this audience and I handed you a picture, what's going to be the first thing that you look for in the picture? And he was asking different audience members, and obviously everyone in the audience said the same thing, look for me. And if you're not in that picture, what are you going to do? I'm going to pass it along. And guys, that is literally what is happening with our clientele and with your branding when you are not relatable. When you are putting out branding that just makes you feel good and just looks good and is creating a perception rather than a reality of relatability, folks do not see themselves in your picture. And if they do not see themselves in your picture, they will not be interested. And I think that this is what is happening. And I feel very, very strongly about the fact that we as realtors, it is our responsibility to show up online more responsibly in a more real way that's going to ensure that our consumers and the people that we're talking to that have a totally different background and a totally different experience and a totally different need and a totally different way of communicating, that it is our job to show up that way so that they understand that the things that we're doing are not exceptional. Therefore, the results that we're doing are not exceptional, and it is attainable for them as well. Okay. Next slide. So how do we fix that? And it's pretty simple here. Just 3 steps, guys, with just branding awareness, which is what this whole talk is about. Honestly, this talk was about me getting on my soapbox because it's Black History Month, and by God, I want us to help out with the housing disparity that we have in the Black and brown community. And I think that starts with us as realtors, and it starts with something very simple, which is our branding and how we're showing up online so that the consumer has confidence to know that they can do and buy homes and sell homes and be in this space and build wealth. But if we're showing up in a way that makes them feel extremely intimidated, they're drawing back and it's not happening. And so step 1 on kind of tweaking your brand a little bit is some effective storytelling. Guys, tell some real stories. I just got on here and I spilled some real beans, and you guys are like, wow, oh my God, I had no idea that you only made $25,000 in appearance fees. Why did I tell you that? I told you that so that it can be relatable. I told you that so that you can understand that while you may see me online and you may see me on television, you don't know my whole story. And so having some effective storytelling and telling some nightmares and telling some fairy tale stories of things that have happened with your clients that may not necessarily have the down payment or may not necessarily have all of the resources they need to buy a home, but how you got them to the finish line, as that's what we need to see more of than a lot of the luxury items that we're seeing, because that's just not speaking to our brands or speaking to our consumers as a brand. So less luxury, more relatability. Again, that can go back to storytelling. That can go back to sharing more of your failures instead of sharing only your wins. That can go to, showing up online without just all professional pictures, but really showing the day-to-day and what things look like and what this process looks like, so that the consumer can understand that this is something they can touch and do as well. And if you're showing up as if you're exceptional, your results will be perceived as exceptional, not attainable. And that's something that I focus a lot on with my brand. I do a lot of self-deprecating humor. I tell a lot of stories of my losses, of my failures. And I share those things not because I want anyone to feel sorry for me, but I want people to understand that what you have to get about the psychology of people that are consuming content is, if someone is consuming content and they're not creating it, they automatically will have you up on a pedestal. And if all you do is validate their perception and thoughts about you being up on this pedestal by branding yourself in a way that keeps you up here, then in their brain, what you're doing, you're exceptional. So the things that you're able to do, or these people that you're helping, they're not like them. And so they're not reaching out to you. You're not getting the business that you should be getting. We've got people that ultimately probably could get approved for homes, and they're not even trying because they just see this grand picture of real estate and this perception of it that really is not reality. Guys, what we're doing is not exceptional. You are not exceptional. What we're doing is very attainable, and it is our responsibility to kind of change the narrative on Black and Brown home ownership. And what better place to start than with our branding and how we're showing up online, so that folks know that what we're doing is actually attainable. Next slide. So that's my soapbox and that's my spiel. Hopefully it can bring a little bit more awareness to you as you're stressing out about the next location or that next cool place that you want to do your photo shoot or your video shoot. Maybe you'll be a little bit more mindful and say, you know what? Instead of doing it there, why don't I just do it here? This is more relatable. This is something that is actually happening day to day, and rather than focusing on a perception around what this video is going to create, I can focus more on being more relatable to my audience and see what that can actually bring in. And so there's my information. If you guys have any questions, would love to chit chat a little bit more with you about branding and how you're showing up in front of the camera with your business.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Chauncey. That was very relatable. And yes, guys, one word: authenticity. Authenticity. I'm a true believer that what you put out is what you'll get back. So when you're searching for your tribe, put that out. Put out authenticity so that you can receive that back in your business and in your life. All right. So next up, we have our final speaker of the day that really needs no introduction. Chasten J. Miles is an entrepreneur, a business coach, social media expert, and a great business mind. He is going to educate us on how we should be using business credit to level up our business. All right, without further ado, welcome, Chasten.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
What's up, everybody? I didn't know that I was last but not least, but it's all good. So I don't have any slides just because this is a very I just want to have a very comfortable, authentic conversation with everyone about business credit. And this is not going to be like my normal talks or maybe talks that you've seen me on. Instead, I just want to make sure that everything that I provide you with today, you can go tomorrow and take action on it and make some big things happen. Give me 1 second. I feel like my camera is a little blurry looking. Give me 1 second, y'all. I want it to be clear for you. I guess that was a little better. All right. All right. So with business credit, something that I didn't really know about a few years ago, and how I landed on business credit was I had just got a new office space. I was expanding my team, and I was ready for the big boy office. I was ready to, do it up. And since this was such a large office, I had to get everything. I had to get furniture. I had to get copiers and printers and internet and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't really think anything of it, right? I was like, I can just get some little IKEA furniture and go to Office Depot and get a printer. But I was trying to go for a different presentation, and like Chauncey even talked about, like, I felt like I was in the big leagues, and I wanted to have my office presented that way. So I needed big boy toys. I needed like serious furniture. I needed serious printers. I needed super fast, secure internet. And every time I would reach out to a company, they started asking me for a DUNS number. And I said, DUNS number, I didn't know what that was. I had my EIN, but I didn't know what a DUNS number is. And so whenever I don't know something, I start going down a rabbit hole. So I'm searching DUNS number. I'm finding out that that's linked to business credit. And I'm finding out all this stuff about business credit. And then I sort of go on this journey. And this journey really started with me trying to get a copier and fiber optic internet. Everything changed differently in this commercial world where I wasn't just calling up AT&T saying, send me a quick setup kit. No, I was having to actually work with companies to come in and wire a whole space and this and that. And not only was it expensive, but it was different paperwork. It was different credentials. It was different legal company information that I didn't know. They had different sets of rates and pricing based on how you paid other vendors. This set me on a journey of figuring this whole business credit thing out. And not only did I figure out how to get this copier, but I also figured out how to leverage business credit to build a business. And that's what I want to talk to you all about today. It's really how to leverage other people's money to build your business. Now, show of hands in the room, how many of you have business credit profiles? How many of you actually have business credit profiles? Drop in the chat if you currently have a business credit profile. And I actually want to know how many of you have never heard of business credit profiles. Many of you may not know this, but there are business credit reporting agencies that are totally separate from your personal credit reports. With that being the case, you as a real estate agent and a real estate professional, you are able to leverage your business, your real estate business, in order to take out loans, to get credit cards, to get office spaces, to get vehicles. Yes, I have a Range Rover. I have a Mercedes. They're both business vehicles. You are able to leverage these and not even have to touch your personal credit. I didn't have the best personal credit back then. And so when I found this out, I was like, oh man, the personal credit's already jacked up. So let me build this business credit so people won't even need to ask questions about anything. And those are the steps that I am going to give you all today. Does that sound good? All right. One thing about business credit, and this is kind of step one. One thing about business credit is it is reserved for those with businesses. Okay. And that's a key word, businesses. You have to have a business. Although you may call yourself Founders Real Estate or Chauncey Sells Homes or whatever your team name is and that you put on social media, although you may call yourself all of that, does it look like a business on paper? Okay, super important question to ask. Write this question down. Does it look like a business on paper? Therefore, any real business that I want to know about, what is the first thing that I do? I go and Google that business. What is this business's address? What is this business's phone numbers? So if I went and Googled your business name right now, what's going to come up? Is just all your information going to come up on the eXp website? Or does Google have you in their directory? Does Yelp have you in their directory? Does Yahoo have you in their business directory? Yellow Pages, all of those. Because guess what? Most businesses are listed. Okay. So you have to have an actual business. What does that start with? That starts with first registering your business in your state, meaning you need an LLC. Okay. And I must say this disclaimer. I am a real estate agent. I am not an attorney. I am not a financial advisor. Do not take this as legal nor financial advice. This is for education purposes only. Consult with your CPA, consult with your attorney if you have any questions, but you need an LLC or any entity, whatever makes sense for you. It needs to be filed with your state. Once you file that with your state, from there, you need an EIN. That's your employer identification number, your EIN. This EIN, this is your social security number for your business. So as you start to try to get business credit, to try to build your credit profiles, instead of using your social, you're now going to use your EIN. Your business is now looked at like it's a person. It has its own identity. So with its own identity, it has its own social security number, thus known as that EIN. You absolutely need to do these two things first. The reason is because moving forward, everything that you do, you're going to use that EIN and you're going to use that legal business name. At that point, you are just a representative of the company. You are a member of that business. You're the CEO. You have a job in that business. But moving forward, you're going to use that on all of your applications. Now, when you have an EIN, when you have that business name, guess what you need now? You need an address. Businesses have to have an address. And this address gets listed on site. So a big question people ask me every time I speak on this is, can I use my home address? It's totally up to you, whether you want people to know what your home address is or not. When it comes to funding, it used to be very difficult to get away with using your home address, but since the pandemic and people working from home and running their businesses from their home, they have relaxed on that a little bit. However, what I would recommend is getting a virtual address. So a virtual address, it's a full-on business address. Most times they are in a corporate building, in an actual office. And what they do is you can use their address and they collect your mail and they'll mail it out to you. They'll forward it to you. A lot of companies out there offer virtual addresses. You can get on Google and just type in virtual business address. You'll find companies out there, but you need a real business address. Keep in mind, everything that I tell you, when you apply for funding and these companies look you up, are they going to see a real business? That's what you always want to ask yourself. Am I going to look like a real business? So if my business address is linked to my home versus an actual corporate office building, which one is going to look more real? Okay. So get that virtual address. Alongside that virtual address, you're going to need a business phone number. A business phone number. Now, I started out using Google Voice. It was free until I started to build up my business credit. Now, my phones are through T-Mobile and they're registered to my business. So they don't even have my name on them. They're not traceable back to me because they're in the business name. But we'll get to that here shortly. You're going to need a business phone number, a phone number that you're going to use for your business. Again, I'd recommend getting a Google Voice number, something like that, and not your personal cell phone number. With all of that information now, you have your LLC, you have your EIN, you have your business address, and you have your business phone number. Guess what? This is about money. You're going to want money. You're going to be making money. So you need a business bank account. You need a business bank account. And I have this rule of 3 when it comes to your business bank accounts. You want to get 3 different business bank accounts. One at a local business bank in your area, another one at a national bank, so like a Bank of America, Chase, something that's everywhere, and then a third one at a credit union. So that's my rule of 3 when it comes to your business accounts. But as a business owner, you're going to treat this like you starting a new business relationship with a financial institution. Therefore, don't go open your business account online. Go into the bank, meet with a business advisor, and I'm going to tell you how good this can get. When you're working on the business side and they know that you're running a true business, I can simply send an email to tell my business banker to send out a wire or to open up a new account for me. I can say, hey, can you open up a new account? I'm buying a new investment property. She'll open it up, send me back the documents to DocuSign. It's done. It's open. I don't even have to step into a branch. Why? Because we have a relationship. When I need money for a project, it's as simple as a phone call. What do you need? Okay, how big is the project? Why? Because we have that relationship. So you're going to want to establish that relationship. If you walk into a bank, you don't feel comfortable with that business advisor, it don't really seem like they're going to help you out, just go to another one. Chauncey just talked about how we got to work a little bit harder, right? We got to work a little bit harder. Go to another one, but present yourself like a business owner. You're about serious money. Okay? At that point, once you have your accounts open, and remember, you're using all of your business information for this. Once you have those accounts open, now you have to start using them, right? You get paid commissions, you get paid rev share, you get paid from your investment properties. This is money coming into your business. So there needs to be activity in these business accounts. All right. You're now using them for your business. At that point, it gets a little fun. Now you can start getting some money. But before you get money, remember, we want to make sure that we're presented like a business. So you're going to submit yourself to what we call 411 directories. Y'all remember back in the day, you pick up the phone and dial 1411. The operator would come on. You say, hey, I need the number to such and such on this street. And they give you the phone number. Well, that still exists, but online now. So 411 directories are websites that house a directory for businesses. Some examples that you may be familiar with: Yelp, Yelp.com. That's a 411 directory. Google My Business, that's a 411 directory. All right. They're websites that you can go on and search any business and it'll pull up all the listings of the businesses. So now that you have a legal business with a business address, phone number, bank account, EIN, you want to submit yourself to these business directories. So you'd go on websites like Yelp, MSN, Google My Business, Yahoo Business. You'd go on these websites and submit your business. And it's super simple. You just fill out the form and boom, within a couple of days, your business now appears on these sites. So you're going to submit your business. You do not want to apply for anything if it is not looking like you have a real business. Nobody knows that you have the Chase and J Miles real estate team if all it's doing is showing up in your eXp directory. Okay, so submit yourself to these 411 directories. Now, when it comes to business funding, let's talk about the money, how to use other people's money. already told you how you can get all this money, get equipment, get vehicles. I already told you how you can do it in your business name. But first, you have to get your business credit reports established. So how you do that is through a website known as Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet. It's going to be DN as in Nancy B.com. And a lot of people ask me, hey, I thought they were getting rid of that. It's for government only. No, it's 100% still relevant. And you're going to get a DUNS number, a DUNS number with them. This DUNS number is free. I repeat, it is free. They will try to sell you on expedited, on packages, on this and that. It is free. Get this DUNS number, and this is what's going to establish your credit profile. When you go to certain websites to apply for funding, they're going to ask you that DUNS number. This does not replace your EIN. This is just another number to use alongside that. On the business side, we have Dun & Bradstreet. That is a reporting agency for businesses. There is Experian Business. Okay. And then there is Equifax for your business. Okay. All three of these report business trade lines, business accounts. You're going to have scores with these businesses. With these credit bureaus on the business side. When you apply for things, they're not going to check your personal. They're going to check the business, and you want something to pop up. So go get your DUNS number. Once you have that DUNS number, it's time to start applying for trade lines and credit. I'm going to tell you something about how the business trade lines work. And let me know if I'm still good on time. I don't want to go over, but I hope this is valuable to y'all. I wanted to make sure I was giving you actionable steps. Okay. One thing about business trade lines is that they are broken up into tiers. Okay. Meaning there's the bottom tiers. So tier 1, then there's tier 2, then there's tier 3 and tier 4. The way that we could think about this is, hey, if you've never had any credit, if you've never had a car, if you've never had a credit card report to your credit, you're not just going to, no matter how good your credit score is, you're not just going to roll into a bank and say, I want $500,000. They're going to pull up your credit profile and say, but you've never even managed $20. We can't find a record of you even having $1,000. Like nobody else has given you this kind of money. We don't want to be the first ones to give you $500,000 because on paper, we can't see anything else. No matter if you say, oh, I'm good for it. Oh, my business is going to bring in all this money. It's like, yeah, you say that, but does anybody else say that? And that's what they're going to be doing to your credit profiles. So you're going to have to start out on tier 1. Once you get a few lines reporting on tier 1, then you'll move to tier 2. Once that starts reporting, now you move to tier 3 and tier 4. So the way that you can think about it is tier 1, that's going to be that stuff that you probably don't really want, probably not going to use. It may be more expensive, may have a higher interest rate. In tier 4, that's going to be your cars, your Range Rover, your G-Wagon, right? It moves up the tiers. Okay. And so therefore, when it comes to you applying, we're going to start applying for tier 1 companies. These are kind of the companies that anybody will approve. One of them is going to be this company called Uline, Uline. They sell boxes, some office supplies, but you're going to register for a business account with them. It is just going to be off of your business information. You're going to place an order and you're going to receive an invoice. Yes, invoices do exist. You're going to receive an invoice. It's going to say, Chasten, we see that you ordered this pack of staples. It was $20. So in 30 days, we need our $20 back. And you could pay by check or your bank account. All right. So now I have an obligation to them to pay for my staples in 30 days. They extended that little bit of credit to me. Now I got to pay it. All right. The cool thing about business credit is it is based off of how you pay. It's based off of how you pay. Meaning, if you get that invoice and you pay before the 30 days, boom, you get points for that. If you pay right at 30 days, boom, you get points for that. If you pay a day later, they're not gonna, just charge you a fee and call it a day. No, you get points taken away for that, right? It's easier to recover, but still, it's like, man, he pays 1 day late, or he pays 3 days late. He pays us, but he pays late. But they're evaluating that. So rule of thumb is don't pay it immediately. So don't just buy something right now, then immediately pay it off. But don't wait until the actual due date. Once you get that invoice, you can wait about 2 weeks, then pay it off. Okay. So Uline, Uline. That's one company. Another one is Quill, Quill. Quill. That's another company you can get a starter trade line with. Same thing. Buy something, receive that invoice, 2 weeks later, pay it off. Okay. And there's a lot of these tier 1 companies. I have a whole list of them. So if any of you want to reach out to me, I can provide you with that, or I can give it to the moderators and they can send it to you. But you're going to go ahead, start with that tier 1. Once your tier 1 starts reporting, now you move on to tier 2. So tier 2, it gets a little bit better. It's stuff you can actually use. This is going to be your gas cards, right? So you can get a Shell card, you can get a WEX card, a QT, 7-Eleven. I have all of them that you're just going to use for gas. You can get a Sam's Club business account where Sam's will extend you a line of credit. You can use that at Sam's and Walmart. Now, I must say this, though. These are business accounts. Don't go in Sam's and Walmart buying your weekly groceries with that business account. They will shut it down. Don't go in there buying stuff that someone is going to look at and be like, they told me that they were running a real estate business and they're in here buying Pampers. It's not how this works. All right. But think about all the things that you actually do in your business. Even if you're hosting a client appreciation event and you need food, you need decorations, all that. Yeah, use that Sam's business account. Go in there, get it, pay it off once you get the invoice 2 weeks later. All right. Sam's is really cool because they'll give you credit limit increases. Another one, Floor and Decor. If you flip houses, Floor and Decor is great. I use them for all of my flips. Okay. These are all tier 2 companies that you can get. From there, now you're moving on to tier 3. This is going to be your companies like American Express. Now you're getting into credit cards. All right. So American Express Platinum, American Express Gold, Chase cards. You're getting actual business credit cards, small starter business loans where you can just get one through your bank. And then tier 4, now you're moving into vehicles, homes, big equipment funding, capital to startup capital, things like that, where you could say, hey, I need $20,000. I need $30,000. All that stuff is going to be tier 4, right? But it's a business and they're going to look and see on your profiles that, oh, okay, they have all these different trade lines reporting. They have 20 other trade lines reporting. They're actually running a business. They buy things, they pay it off. They have high business credit scores. No, we don't even need to pull their personal credit. It's not going to be reported to your personal credit because you are operating out of your business entity. Okay. So those are the big steps to get started with your business credit. And when you are leveraging your business credit, one of my actual financial advisors, one of my bankers, put it to me this way. She said, Chasen, let's say that you get invited to a meeting and it's a meeting with a big developer. And this big developer is about to build this huge condo project and they're considering hiring you as the listing agent. you're not going to make any money off of this project for a couple of years, but you're going to need to market it. You're going to need to promote it. You're going to need to get buyers, and it's going to be a pretty penny to make that happen. She asked me, do you think you can make that happen? I said, yeah, I mean, I got, commissions coming in, I'll use it off of this. She said, okay, will you be able to make it happen for 2 years, for 3 years? How long? And I'm sitting there thinking 6 months, maybe 5 months. And then she said, and then you have another guy that they're interviewing, and he has access to capital. He has $100,000 line of credit. He has all these business credit cards. He doesn't even have to touch his own money. Can you compete against him? And I said, no, I can't compete against him. She said, this is more the reason why you want to get very involved in this business credit side. Like a lot of us as real estate agents, we don't think that we need business credit in real estate, but same thing. What if you make a great connection with the developer? They're about to open up a whole subdivision. It's going to take you a while to get paid. Do you want to leverage all of your money, have your bank accounts barely slimming by in just hopes of, oh, I'm going to get paid eventually once it sells? Or do you want to have all that cash in your pocket and you're leveraging other people's money? You're leveraging the bank's money. The bank knows that this project is 2 years out because you have that personal relationship. So they're able to make adjustments to where your first payment due date is not in 30 days. It's more so in a year or two, right? Or you're just paying interest only on this line of credit because they know that you're using this money to market this big development, right? And they're more willing to lend it to you. It's more of a secured investment. What about flipping homes? A lot of us as real estate agents, we want to flip properties. Why would you use all of your money on that project when you could use other people's money? When you can use the bank's money, when you can use the credit card money. And I'm going to tell you my favorite part of this. I love American Express. I love Chase. Why? Because you get points with that stuff. So if I'm doing a flip and I put $100,000 into that property and I'm just using my American Express card, using my Chase card, boom, guess what? All of that money that I'm spending earns me points. What am I using all those points on? Boom, eXp shareholders. That flight kind of expensive. I want to stay at a nice hotel. It's all free. It's all free just through my normal spending because I have points, rental cars, everything. So there's a whole method to my madness, and I'm extremely passionate about this, but I'm here to let you all know that it doesn't have to be as hard as it is. We don't have to hide the money under the mattress. We don't have to wait till our next check. We just got to get disciplined and operate like a real business. And real businesses receive funding. They're receiving it left and right. It's not exclusive to just certain people, but it is exclusive to businesses. Businesses on papers, businesses online. All right. All this needs to add up. Your tax returns. You're now doing your tax returns in your business name. You're not putting kids and miscellaneous things on there. No, let the business show what it is. The businesses, they're not looking for it to show this huge amount of profit. No, it just needs to be based off of a business. So without going too deep into this, that is my talk for you all this afternoon. I hope it was valuable. And like I said, I can share, I have a business credit ebook. I'm more than happy to share it that has all these steps, step by step for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. That was valuable information. I think a lot of us really want to deep dive more into that. And you've definitely left us with a lot. So the word after Chasten is leverage, you guys. So get with Chasten to find out more about how you can use business credit in your business. All right. So next up, what everyone I'm sure has been waiting for, it's award time, you guys. It's a time for the Benji Awards. So we are going to recognize and celebrate the incredible talent and hard work in our real estate community. So without further ado, let's get ready for the show.
Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back. All right. So that was a whole lot, right? We've been on since 1 o'clock my time and 2.5 hours in, and it's finally time for the most fun, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Melanie Thomas here back with Fee Gentry.
Hey,
I'm
y'all.
spelled right now. Everything is good.
Yep. Right.
What is this? Let's say what this Benji Awards is all about. Why did we come up with this crazy idea? Fee? Tell the people.
I mean, like one of the reasons that we came up with Benji Awards was because it's kind of like the Essence Awards. Like it's great to receive awards from your, from your colleagues in the industry and all that stuff, but it means something really special when you get it from the people that are in your community that look like you, have the, the struggles, experiences, etc. It's just a different thing, right? It's like we made it, Mom. Like, look, we really, really made it. So that's why.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I totally agree. So today is our second annual Benji Awards. We started this last year with the inaugural version where we just want to honor certain categories of achievers in the Black eXp network. So we have a Rookie of the Year award. We have a Staff Member of the Year award, an Ally of the Year, because what do we always say, Fee? It's about
culture, not color.
So we're not all Black. We have lots of a diverse rainbow of people in our network, and we honor those that are down for the cause, even if they're, not quote unquote Black, right? And then we have our Community Contributor of the Year. Uh-oh, did Fee get shot? What happened there? Okay. You scared me. All right, we have the Community Contributor of the Year award, live television, guys. And then we have the Icon of the Year, our most prestigious award. Those of you who are not with eXp, an Icon agent is the top of the top, the elite group of agents at eXp with the top production numbers. And we have a great group of nominees that are nominated in that category today. So we're going to get it kicked off right now with our first award, which is our Staff Member of the Year. So this award, behind every successful operation is a dedicated and hardworking support team, guys. We don't run this event. We don't get paid our commission checks, workplace, everything that we do in eXp has an engine behind it, and that is our staff. And so we always want to be mindful of giving honor to the staff, the people behind the scenes. We're all up front, but nothing works without them. They're the backbone of our company. So they're the unsung heroes that work tirelessly to keep everything running smoothly for us. And realtors like to get paid, right? So they hold everything together. So the recipient of this award is a shining example of excellence in our support staff with her unwavering commitment, exceptional work ethic, positive attitude. She goes consistently above and beyond to ensure the success, certainly of the Black eXp network, but also One eXp as a whole. So it is my great honor to recognize our honorary recipient of the Staff Member of the Year award for the Black eXp network, Morgan Johnson. All right. Well deserved, Morgan. Are you here with us to accept your award today?
I am here. Hello.
All right. So now this is what your freshly non-minted award is going to look like. It's going to have your name and Benjamin. This is probably the last year Benjamin's getting a makeover. So you're going to be the last person to get one of these with his on there. It'll be coming to you very shortly. What would you like to say? Morgan, you help us do everything. You keep us on track. You chase us down when we owe you things.
Especially you, Melanie. I chase you down a lot.
Don't tell my secret. Don't tell anybody. Don't let them know. But tell us what it is that you do behind the scenes and that we might not be aware of, like Black History Library. I know that everyone, hopefully, if they haven't seen it, better go see it. You are a huge part of making that happen. So tell us a little bit, give us your acceptance speech.
Well, I'm the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Communications Coordinator here at eXp, and it is honestly my honor to get this award. I joined eXp a couple of years ago, and I saw staff members getting this award, and I told my mom, I said, I'm going to get that award one year. And I always hit the goals that I try to reach, and I'm here now, and I'm proud. I thank God. If it weren't for my mother, my grandmother, if it weren't for the strong Black women who carry me up every day, I wouldn't be here. So I'm certainly thankful. And then also to my manager, Cody Gilkison. He's been amazing. My manager before him was Erin Holman. She's another powerful woman in the industry. So I just thank everybody. And I also thank you, Melanie. You've taken me under your wing as well. And I appreciate that.
I appreciate you too, Morgan. Thank you so much. We always want to acknowledge the folks that are working so hard every day in the world, in the new world, everywhere where we are now to make us the company that we are. And we couldn't do it without you. So thank you, Morgan. I'm glad to send you this award. And when you get it in the mail, make sure you come and post with it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to give it to my grandma. So I'll take a picture.
Right. Beautiful. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate you. Okay, Sophie, you're coming back.
Yeah,
Who do we have? Who's our next award recipient?
Yeah.
Let me let you take that.
I'm so excited about this one because this was always something that's, dear to my heart. So next up, we have the Ally of the Year. And this honor goes to an individual who has tirelessly advocated for underrepresented voices and communities, and not just for BEN, but all of our platforms in an industry that's always, changing and evolving. Like, so the theme here, she represents what evolving means. It takes a true champion of diversity, equity and inclusion to impact and effect real change. And she's done this. And so the winner of this award is a leader who's just demonstrated that on a day-to-day basis. And before I present this award, I want to give you guys a real quick story. My experience of her, because I haven't talked to her in a couple of years, is at the at eXpCon, and she was just full of life and energy and was doing all kinds of things. So without further ado, y'all, introducing Stephanie Purnett. Stephanie.
Oh my goodness, how do I live up to that introduction?
Yeah. Huh?
Oh, thank you. This is the biggest honor I've had.
Well, thank you.
This whole year, like seriously, everything that I see BEN do is amazing.
Well,
inspire me every day.
Well, we could not have done it without you. Just talk to the people a little bit about where your heart is. I mean, like I said, I've had conversations with you, and you're just an amazing person. And you worked with us for over the years, and so kind of this is your 30 seconds of fame.
Am I echoing to you? Echo to me. Am I echoing?
You're echoing, yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
You want to put your headset on?
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, we got about 30 seconds, but basically we get the gist of it. So no worries, but thank you so much and congratulations. So y'all give her a round of applause. And thank you, and keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. We really need allies. You're the people that drive us. So Melzy, you coming back on for our next award?
Yeah. We could let's let we got a little time. Let's let Stephanie give her
okay.
speech.
Well, let's Stephanie get her. Yeah, let's go ahead and get her headset.
Oh,
there you go. Perfect.
Yeah,
Good,
you go.
You brought me back.
Oh, way
Much
better. Yes,
Oh my God, I am so sorry. But like seriously, thank you. The recognition means the world to me. Everything I have learned from Black eXp Network, the leadership that you all provide to everyone, like, thank you. Like, I am so honored to be in this position.
Well, no,
Thank you for sharing that. What would you say, Stephanie? Like people would say, and you were involved with One eXp as well. And why would it be important for people outside of what the typical person you would think would be a member of these groups? What is the reason why you engage with it and find value in it?
Honestly, number one is education. Like as a realtor, if we are not learning, then we learned, right? And One eXp is giving me the platform to learn everything for all 15 resource groups, right? So I'm an advocate for all 15 of us.
Okay. Yep.
Right. Who can name all 15? Can you name all 15?
I could.
Go
You
ahead.
want me
Go
to?
for it. Black eXp Network. We got that one. Who's the other?
Oh my gosh, you really put me on the spot. You really want me to do this? She's not joking. Okay.
No,
Black
not
eXp
really.
Network, Latino Network, South Asian, Women's Impact Network.
That's going to
We
be our new
have Latino. We have
seniors,
capable seniors, Indigenous,
climate action.
Okay.
You said young professionals?
I did not. And they're amazing.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's
Healthy
everybody.
Mind.
Healthy Mind Collective.
Yeah,
Yes,
Healthy
yes.
Mind Collective. Yep. Wow.
I think that's good enough. You passed, Stephanie.
Yeah,
You
yep.
can-
And the thing about it is, right, is that everybody can be a member of all of these groups, right? So that's
Absolutely,
what I think.
right?
So as an ally, that's what I wanted you to really emphasize, like to stay informed about like more of these events and all that. That this is for everybody. We say this is, this is about culture, not color. So you're a shining example of that. So thank you so much.
No, thank you both for being supporters and leaders and everything that you have done for eXp and for me.
Cool.
Okay, I want your selfie with the award too. Okay. All right. Thank you, Stephanie, for
Yeah.
that. So that's our Ally of the Year, everybody.
Yeah,
So,
this is going by fast.
well, yeah, we got to get through this. So next, we have a really exciting one. So this one, guys, this was not an honorary award that we granted. Like the Ally of the Year and the Staff Person of the Year, our leadership team, we select those people based on the things that they do for us that we want to honor. However, this next award is one that was put up for a vote because we wanted the people to decide. So the next award that we're going to honor is for the Rookie of the Year. So what is a Rookie of the Year? In a world where experience often reigns supreme, the winner of this award has proves that passion and determination are true keys to their success. Despite being new to the game, they've already made a significant impact in their field, earning the respect and admiration of their peers along the way. So with their boundless energy and fearless ambition, they remind us all that every journey begins with a single step. So let's raise our virtual glasses to this Rookie of the Year who's about to be honored. So let's see who is that person that might fit that description. Let's see who the nominees for Rookie of the Year are. Okay, we have Ivory Martin, Stephanie Jimenez, Lori Ann Pierre, and Christopher Moore. And the winner of Rookie of the Year for 2023 is Ivory Martin from the Breadwinners. Is that the team that you're on, Ivory? Ivory, are you in the house with us backstage to accept your award? There he is, everybody.
Yes.
Congratulations, Ivory. I am so proud
Thank
of
you.
you as Rookie of the Year. Honored to give you this accolade, and just know that you were submitted, and all of the nominees, by the way, were submitted by their team leaders as the stars of their group to be accepting this award. So Ivory, what would you like to say, sir? How does it feel to win this Rookie of the Year?
Well, really, I could honestly shed a tear because I've put so much hard work into this. I didn't see this coming, honestly, but God willing, I was able to make it to be Rookie of the Year. And also to answer your question, yes, I am a part of the Breadwinners organization. We are here in the Dallas, Texas, DFW Metroplex. We have people in Houston as well, but quickly, I just take a shout out to my mentors. They've been with me and helped me tremendously. My parents, my family, it's just really a blessing, and I'm so honored to have this award, and specifically to shout out one of my friends, Jason Kondakov. He wanted me to shout him out on my acceptance speech.
So you hit everybody. You didn't write a speech. Okay. So tell me, Ivory, because it's Ivory Martin II. Let me give you your proper
Yes.
address there. Now, as a new agent, things are a little different now. Things are getting harder. Agents are confused and leaving the business and frustrated when they're starting. They don't know where to start, or since the pandemic, everything everything's out of control in some people's minds. How did you, as a new agent, right out the gate, what was the biggest factor in you reaching the success that you did so quickly in your first year?
Well, with that, it comes building relationships with people. Having a relationships with people, that'll take care of itself. The way you treat people and also the way they can remember you, that was one of the big factors that helped my business, as far as even if people weren't ready to buy a house or they're already in the home, they would actually, refer me out to people and help me expand my business. So doing that and just meeting as many people as I can, that was a huge factor. And just reaching out to people, continuing to build a relationship, even if I don't know you, honestly. But
over Facebook, you can get to know me very easily by the way I construct my videos, and I'm posting pictures all of the time. You know, I'm just always in front of a lot of people.
Okay, you think that's the biggest factor? You have any piece of advice for well, let me go this way. What's next for you? Is it Icon? What's your next target?
Yes, Icon is definitely my next target. I'm almost close to getting towards the capping status again. So I have my goals set out to reach capping status at a certain point of the year to get to Icon. But honestly, a piece of advice that I would say is, you know, definitely don't give up and just continue to get out of the house, go meet as many people as possible, and just remain consistent. Find your niche, educate your audience with that, and just be you, you know, be yourself within that. And what I have certified realtor for is just the easy name for people to remember me if they didn't remember my name. So a lot of people just call me, hey, that's certified realtor, that's certified realtor. So that's what advice I can give you. Just, you know, find your niche and be yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Aubrey, for accepting this award. It's an honor for us to give it to you. Yours is coming in the mail. I want to see it all over your social media and shout out that
You
you
sure
are the
will.
BEN Rookie of the Year for 2024. All right. 2023.
Thank you. Thank you so
All right.
much.
All right. Thank you, Aubrey. Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome. The young folks
The
making
young
us proud.
folks, yeah. The young folks are over. Yeah.
All right, Sophia, I'm going to leave you because this next one is a super special one that
Yeah.
is close to my heart, because these are the
Yeah.
people who really put the work in and
Yeah.
try to enrich the group. So let
Yeah.
me let you take this one, and let's see
Okay.
who's the next honoree.
Yeah. So the next honoree that that's coming up is this award was, and we wanted to specifically, because everything when we created the Black eXp Network was about community, right? About collaboration. And this person signifies collaboration. Actually, she could have won all of these awards, like a lot of these awards. So what we did is just kind of rolled her, we could roll her up in all of these things, roll her up. And so what we're going to do next is called the Community Contributor of the Year. And this award recognizes an individual who has dedicated their time, their energy, and resources to making our community a better place. And that's both offline, and virtually online. In a world where, people are so self-consumed and just self-absorbed, this year's winner shines brightly as a beacon of hope and walks the walk and talks the talk. Whether it's through her weekly educational events, both online and offline, whether it's her volunteering or simply just listening, this individual embodies the spirit of what we call generosity and goodwill. Her voice and her works have touched the lives of thousands, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not even exaggerating. Thousands of individuals and people across the world, and she has left a roadmap of success to inspire for other generations to come. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen and colleagues, y'all, we got to give it up for my sister from another mother, Contributor of the Year, Claudienne Hibbert Smith. Yes. Claudienne, are you there? Are you there? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Hey, love.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I didn't know it was going to be me.
You didn't know it was going to be you?
And all the awards, I was like, okay, well, that's not my turn.
You could. I mean, absolutely. You could. You have done a lot of different things. You could, all these categories. You could be a little bit of everything. Even the ally. I mean, you've just been. Anytime I call you or we need you for something, you show up and you show out every single time.
Oh, thank you.
So
I
just,
appreciate that.
So tell the people a little bit about who you are and what you do, because you got an amazing story. We've got about a couple minutes, so just the floor is yours,
folks,
lady.
I'm Claudienne Hibbert Smith, 23-year real estate veteran, wanting to just help as many people as I can. I remember when I got started, and even now, but not as much. But when I got started, there were very limited resources. And maybe there weren't limited resources, but people didn't want to share the resources. It was a big secret to get into the REO market. Yet my company at the time was able to just appoint me into the REO space. See, when you show up, what I've learned is when you show up and you serve, you will not be forgotten. And so I was able to get into that space based on production and my community service. And I don't mean just in the physical community, I mean in the community of the office, always being available to share, to care for the people. And I just want people to grow. I have this thing where, there's so much business. I don't function in a space where there's lack thereof. So I'm just really excited about that.
I know. Well, so tell us the one of the things that you're up to now that I think really signifies your contribution, and that's your school. That's your legacy, right? Because after you contribute, talk to us about that for one quick second.
Well, I want to show you something.
Okay. See, I love live TV, right? Y'all, we about to
make
get
my
a treat.
background clean, so I moved it. But I think this is what you're talking about.
Yep.
I'm actually in the physical space right now.
Wow.
Guys, this is my husband and I's 25,000 square foot building. 11 banks told us no, not because we didn't have the right credentials, because of the height of the blight in the market in the commercial space. It was because banks were starting to file bankruptcy and they were getting very nervous. So they were not lending. And so we had to come up, see, with 40%, have a hard money loan at 12% interest only, and of $3.3 million. And when I tell you, if it was not for real estate, I don't think we would be in this space, because we had to liquidate some things. Coming up with $1.5 million ain't easy. Right. There was no crowdfunding. There was no fund. There was Claudiane and Mario, and we were able to make it happen. And so, don't give up on your dreams, guys. Don't give up on your goals. And I'll tell you this, millionaires are created in recessions. Okay? Millionaires are created in recessions. Absolutely. Don't lose sight. Don't give up. Don't hang those license. Everybody, don't do what the masses are going to do. You stay put, keep your license, keep making the phone calls, keep connecting, and keep closing deals.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So thank you so much. And congratulations again. You will be receiving your award in the mail. Hey, Mel might drive it down up to you. So maybe y'all meet in Florida, you Floridians and all that. So again, congratulations. Y'all give it up for our community contribution award of the year. Congratulations. I'll see you soon, lady. I'll see you soon. All right, Mel, we are.
Claudiane. Who doesn't love Claudiane?
Yeah.
Who does not love Claudiane?
Who does not love Claudiane? I know.
All right. So look, we're at the final award of the day. Yeah. And it's, again, like I said, our most prestigious. This is a category that is made up of a great group of people from varying backgrounds. We have one of our own tribe leaders is nominated. We have just one of the mega icons of eXp. We have a brand new icon. We have an icon from Idaho, a gentleman who's a four-time icon who is only 24 years old, I believe. So it's a great mix. So
I know this is like the movie of the year award right here. Like this is the best picture. I mean, and everybody's gonna be surprised by the ending of this, right? I love this. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe. Let's find out. So what is an icon? Let's tell people who don't know. You want to take that part, Pete?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do what an icon is. An icon is a person who meets a production goal, right? And so in the state, so it depends on your state, it depends on the value of the properties in your state, but it's what you meet at least your $2.67 million in volume. And then you do an additional 20 homes after that. Or if you're in a place like California, it's a certain dollar amount, right? I think it's 5 million or like at minimum of 5 million or so. So this is a production volume goal, and we're just excited about it. Yeah. Anything else?
At eXp, it's a little bigger than production because we want our icons not just to be producers, but also contributors to the community. So there's a cultural requirement component of this. So these folks are all amazing people, well-rounded human beings who don't just know how to make money in real estate, but they also give back to their community and their agent community and everything like that. So it's an impressive group. Believe you me. So let's go ahead and meet who they are. So I'm excited to know who's going to get this award. So the nominees for Icon of the Year are Rachel Allen, Noah Robinson, Merrick Davis out of Idaho,
and last but not least,
Well, we
Kendall
got
Bonner.
Kendall Bonner. Nope,
Oh,
she's not
Kendall Bonner,
left.
yeah.
We got Jemima Chucks. Don't sleep
Jemima.
on Jemima up
Yeah,
in Delaware.
Jemima. Yes, don't forget.
So who is the winner of BEN Icon of the Year? Kendall Bonner. All right.
Yay!
Florida.
Kendall!
2-0
Wow.
All right, welcome, Kendall. Congratulations. We are so honored to give this award to you. You're just everything. Just so you know, we set a record with votes this year. Totally blew away the vote count we had from last year. So you guys were out there putting your link on social media, and it worked. So, what would you like to say about receiving this honor, this Icon of the Year for BEN?
Yeah. First, just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the Black EXP Network. Thank you to EXP. Thank you to my sponsor, Veronica Figueroa, for waiting on me and bringing me into the family. Thank you to my family. I have two beautiful children who are 17 and 19 years old, and it's an honor to be able to set an example for them. I have a girl and a son. And thank you to my husband, who's also my business partner. I couldn't do anything that I do without him. And, of course, to my team. My team is just they're amazing, and they're good humans, and I love them. And I'm honored that I get to partner with people like that every single day. So I'm honored. I'm floored and I'm honored.
That's great. So what you made Veronica wait for you. So what made you come over finally? What was the tipping point for you to join us here at EXP?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I'd like to say there's a couple of things that I have learned through my career that I think have shaped who I am today, right? And so I want to answer that question by sharing those two things, which was one, I've always been a believer in learn, test, teach. Like go learn stuff, test it, make sure it works, and then you can teach it and share with others, right? And I think that's a more powerful lesson to help people grow in the business when you can show them by example, right? And I think for one, Veronica did that, right? She blew my mind how she proved the model how it works, right? That's one. But two, I love that about EXP is that it's such a contributing community. I know more people that give back to the real estate network and the real estate industry at EXP than honestly I've recognized at any other brand. And I'm grateful for that because I want to be around other contributors. I tell people who ask me about EXP and how it works, I said, listen, one of the things that EXP has done that's super smart is that they reward the behavior that they want to see us continue to do.
Yep.
And one of those things is production. The Icon Award it rewards production. It rewards the activity that allows us to be the number one independent real estate brokerage for transactions, right? Because we reward production, we reward growth. And, those are things that you don't see everywhere at every institution and every company. And I think it makes us unique. I think it gives us a competitive edge. And it definitely is part of, the thing that allows us to have an exit strategy in the business as well, a retirement plan. I mean, there's so many pieces to what we get to do here that just makes it so unique and so powerful. And honestly, it empowers us as agents. I've never felt more empowered as an agent as I do at EXP. And, becoming an icon was such a big deal. This is my first year at EXP. So to be able to achieve that and be recognized has been such an amazing honor. And I'm very grateful to Glenn and Michael and Leo and Carolyn and all of our friends in leadership at EXP for providing an environment that supports that for sure.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Do you have any final words for Kendall?
Well, I mean, like I said, we were really excited. We heard, that when you were coming over and you just exemplified, and you're not the only, and we have to understand, we're not the exception. We're just, we're, like I said, everybody has the opportunity here to do it. It's a level playing field and it's a level platform. And so we're really excited for you. Can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
And thank you again for just showing up and being an example to show people that it's possible with little brown girls who look like us, right?
Yes, I know. That was what my mother was my mentor. And if she were alive today, I know she would be so proud. And if I could leave you guys with one quote, because I think this is also just an exemplar of what I've experienced here today, listening to this Evolve um, webinar this afternoon. One of my favorite quotes is by Alvin Toffler, and he said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those that cannot read and write, but those that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." And I felt like you guys did that today. You provided an education today that was powerful. It was enlightening. It allowed each of us to grow as people watching and experiencing the event today. So I do want to thank you for putting on a quality event and making it virtual so that more of us could be present together and experience that. So thank you, ladies, and everyone behind the scenes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Kendall. We'll see you in South Beach in October.
Yeah. See ya.
All right.
Wow.
Welcome back, Ashley. That's a wrap, guys. Nice day. Great information, just powerful speakers. I'm just honored to have been a part of it, starting out with Mother Fletcher in the beginning. I mean, what an amazing day. We're a little past our time. Just want to give one quick shout out because we're running behind that. The next big thing for us is the Agent Accelerator Academy, guys. So starting March the 12th, we are ramping up for class number 8.
Right.
All right.
So yep.
Be on the lookout for that in Workplace. If you want to apply to get in, that is our flagship creation here of the Black eXp Network. And
60 days to Icon. Yeah, our 60 days to Icon intensive learning program for us, by us, and everybody who's a member of BEN. Yep.
Check on that in Workplace. So I just want to say thank you, Ashley, for wrangling these cats in here for us today. Thank you, team, for creating this amazing network that grew from your head to what we are looking at now, thousands of people across the country and the world. We honor you always for that. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, all our speakers, Chasten, Chauncey, Valencia, Delisa Rose, who just killed it this morning and got us all thinking. Cody Gilkison behind the scenes. Put yourself on screen, please, Cody. Can you
Cody,
join us
on screen? Thank you, Cody.
All right.
And then y'all, we can't. And the person that we can't forget is that we could not ever do this without Melanie Thomas. She is the heart and the soul and the engine behind. She's the engine behind this organization that makes the network run. So thank you for your vision and making it go.
All right. Well, all the rest of our team, Rachel, who was nominated. Sorry you didn't get it this time, Rachel, but next year. Monique Harps, everybody as part of the leadership team, our members past and present, our team leaders past and present. We love you all. We would not be here without any of you. And Cody, I don't know, I'm not going to tell us how much notice you had to put this stuff up here today. Got it all done. So thank you as well.
You're welcome. I just want to say I watch a lot of events at eXp and One eXp. I think this is my favorite event that we've ever done. I think it came off so good. And guys, if you're tuning in right now and seeing the end of this, play it back.
Yeah,
rewind
and share it. And the most important part is the thing that's really important for us is to share this, right? To share this information data, because there's nothing like this in the nation, I don't believe, that does this. So
that's right. If you didn't hear Mother Fletcher and Delisa Rose speak earlier, you failed.
Please watch that.
A couple times.
All right. Well, that's all we got. That's Black History Month 2024. Yeah. Wakanda. Mother Fletcher told us all about that. So it's real, y'all.
Isn't that real? Yep, exactly.
Today. We'll see you next time. Come join us in eXpCon in October down here in Miami. And we're going to turn up in person, y'all. Leave these computer screens behind. We're going to get together face to face. Remember how that used to be? So thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it. Share it, comment, put it on social media. We have been honored to have you here today. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Congrats, everybody. Bye-bye.